Garden live stream extravaganza.
What?
What the hell? You're gonna start with fucking Olive Garden?
Wait, who was that supposed to
Oh my
be?
god.
Who are you even imitating there? Who are you imitating?
It was Goofy.
Olive Garden.
It was fucking Goofy.
Oh, I thought. Okay,
Oh,
it was a little.
man.
Okay, I thought so at first. I wasn't sure. Okay.
So
Yeah.
Nigel, if you can check the sound on the stream, please.
I'm trying to. There was a network error.
Oh
Please
yeah,
try
because
again.
you have friggin' Spectrum. I forgot.
Oh yeah, the shitty phone Ethernet. You know the rest.
Yeah.
Time to watch my favorite little spinny dude, Sonic the Hand-a-Baton.
Hey, he's my favorite blue spinny dude as well. So.
Oh my god.
Anyway, this was originally going to be a special project that we were going to have just like how last year at Too Many Games, Bloody Boy, Mystery Grill, Jerry, Nigel, and I did a special live riff of the room in our hotel room. We were going to do that again this year, but with the Sonic movie. And as we know, not going too much into detail, but as we know, due to current situations within the world, we've had to make adjustments to that plan. And as a result, we've had to make this virtual and move it ahead by a month to celebrate the movie's release.
And I mean, it doesn't. It's not that. It doesn't make. It's not that bad because this is how we do most of our riffs anyway. That the room one was. The room one was the only one we've done. The room was the only one we've done live. So
no, I know. It's just what I mean by that is I'd like for us to once a year do a special one where we actually do it live.
Hopefully, at next year's TMG we can do another obligatory riff of some kind.
We will, but either way,
we sound good on the audio.
Yeah, I lowered my microphone's output, or I lowered the decibels on my microphone a little bit because I'd noticed in recent streams that my output was extremely loud. But part of the reason why I have to boost the decibels on my microphone is because while the Razer Kraken headset is really good, the problem with using it on OBS is that it's a lot quieter than it should sound. So that's why I have to boost it a little bit.
Okay.
Whoa, Razer Kraken.
Anyway,
I don't like what sounds like that.
Anyway, what I was trying to say was we should start with our discussion about just Sonic in general, then it sort of phase into a movie. And by the way, this movie starts at 8 p.m., so if you have a copy, and make sure it's legal, because I do not condone piracy in any way, shape, or form, or under any circumstances.
None of us do.
We shouldn't be able, and you guys we should only be able to hear what's playing on our end, right? We shouldn't be able to hear anyone else.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a headset in.
Yeah.
But also, if you want to follow along with us, as of this discussion is currently available for good prices on Amazon Prime Video, Google Play,
iTunes,
YouTube.
It's available on iTunes. It's available on YouTube. Yeah, you're gonna find it for really cheap prices.
Hulu. There are many different media where you can find it, and I was gonna say the funny thing was I pre-ordered the 4K copy 2 months ago, and because I got the 4K copy in the mail and it was a pre-order, I got the cinematic comic book, and I was able to get this on my iTunes for free. So I have the digital and physical versions, so I am totally legal.
I will say that the one unfortunate side, and this is nothing to do with the Sonic movie, but more or less the company in question. You can't do cross-play with it because it's not supported by Movies Anywhere.
Oh,
I think Paramount and a couple other places aren't supportive of that, so you are going to have to make double purchases if you want to make the mistake I did and put it on Voodoo. And then realize that YouTube didn't allow it, but me being a big fan of this franchise, I decided to just double dip because I wanted my niece and nephew to enjoy this movie, and they really liked it.
Yeah. Now, as some of you may know, like if you've been on the internet the past, last year maybe, like we all saw that really horrendous first viewing of Sonic's design
in the first trailer.
The first trailer. So, all right. So what happened? All right. So, kind of a little bit of history on the movie. Like,
I mean, I'm sure we all know what happened.
Yes,
but we need to describe it for any outsiders.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I've been trying to get a Sonic movie off the ground since I think 2014. Many directors, actors went through. I believe it was November of 2019, released a first trailer that they released the first
No.
trailer.
It was April of 2019.
Yeah, it was April because the movie was originally supposed to come out around my birthday in November.
In November,
Yeah.
So in April 2019, they released a first trailer, Sonic the Hedgehog, released by Paramount, who at that point is kind of a bad place with adaptations of things. They also produced a Ninja Turtles movie that faced similar criticisms that were not fixed. So Sonic's design came out, among other things, and it was heavily criticized for looking terrible.
And looking nothing like him.
It was fucking hideous.
And looked nothing like him either.
I can actually add a little bit more to this because there were some interviews that went out by one of the execs at Paramount that didn't want the stuff being shown, but Tails Channel had reported on this because they had actually interviewed the person. So the reason why they decided to make that design the way they did is that they looked at the numbers that TMNT brought in and Transformers, where they knew that it was going to intentionally look that way because people that have never heard of a Sonic would be like, "Oh yeah, this looks pretty good." Because
that's what I was just thinking. Like, if this was like an original movie, if it wasn't based off of like a previous medium, we wouldn't have anything to compare it to, and we wouldn't be able to determine whether or not it was that bad. So,
but here's the thing. So here's the thing. The reason why Paramount was like, "Oh shit, we gotta take this back." Oh god, Jesus Christ. The reason why they did that is because they didn't realize they had not only pissed off the fans, they pissed off everyone. They turned the Sonic character turned into a laughing stock that if you were to Google Sonic now on Google, the first image that pops up, let me see if this is different now.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I'm doing it.
No,
first image that pops up.
Nope, it's the.
Oh my god, it's the movie.
It's the movie.
Great.
Oh wow, it's different. It's not the. Wow. Oh god, it is.
And it's only the fifth picture you get to where you get to the ugly one.
Okay,
yeah,
and
for real.
it's funny that you say that they looked at TMNT's numbers because they followed the box office of both those movies. The first TMNT reboot did really well. The second one, which I regrettably saw in theaters, underperformed. Didn't do very well. Like, they were planning on making a third one of those, but because number 2 underperformed, they canned it. And so to hear you say that Paramount decided to make that original design based on the numbers of TMNT, which the previous TMNT movie had failed, that's just stupid.
Not only
there's a lot
but the initial. I'm sorry, I just need to finish. So the initial issue is that everyone was making fun of it. Paramount was like, "Oh shit, we need to go back to square one." And in this entire time, Sega had been giving them notes saying, "Change this design. It doesn't look like him." And Paramount was like, "Nah, we're gonna listen to you. You're like a 60-year business. You guys, what's this Streets of Rage shit? I mean."
The one time
revolutionary.
No, I believe it was like the day after the original trailer came out that they announced that they were gonna redesign, and they originally said they were gonna try to redesign the character but keep the original release date. But then about a month later they pushed it back, and I think
Valentine's Day.
It was because of the visual effects artists and the whole crunch they would have to go into. And not only that, but because of the initial backlash, Paramount approached Sega and they asked them, "Hey guys, we need to fix this shit. We're sorry." Actually, no, they didn't even say we're sorry. It was literally just, "Hey Sega, fix this shit for us. Thank you. Bye."
Yeah,
and so
really.
Sega was like, "Okay, we're in a real tough bind here. We had nothing to do with fucking bullshit." Tyson Hess.
Yeah.
Tyson Hess. You can thank Tyson Hess for fixing the Sonic movie design because.
Absolutely.
Something that should be noted. The only thing wrong with the movie was the design. They had added a couple more scenes later down the line. So any scenes, I think when we watch it, I'll acknowledge what's a new scene and what's from the original script.
I have a feeling there is one. I'm not going to say it, but there is one scene in this movie I think was added like in post. Actually,
probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But like, also the other thing about the trailer that was confusing people was like, were using the trailer song they used was
I was-
Gangsta's Paradise.
I was about to say the same exact
That
thing.
was purely an executive decision. The
Yes.
directors, everyone on board
Jeff
for it was like,
Howard
this does not fit the fucking character. Paramount's like,
doesn't fit the
this is
tone of
gonna
the movie.
make bank, son.
It's not well. It doesn't fit the.
Uh.
It doesn't fit the vibe. It's not so much it doesn't fit the character. It's the fact that the movie is supposed to
Tone of
be
the
for
film.
You know what,
children.
though?
No, it's the fact
You know
that
Families.
what's funny?
children.
But you know what's funny though? Like
What?
I actually saw like okay, so someone took that first Sonic trailer with the Gangster's Paradise in there, and they swapped out the music with Weird Al's Amish Paradise.
They
Wow.
did.
It
And
fits
it was
perfectly.
so much better. It was so much
Oh,
better.
no. And something that I saw, and this is like after the design had been changed, like weeks before the news was revealed. Like, a little while after, somebody took like a clip from one of the Sonic video games of Dr. Robotnik talking, and he put Jim
He put it
Carrey's
over Jim
dialogue
Carrey.
in. No, he put Jim Carrey's dialogue from the first trailer over, like he dubbed it into the game footage, and the video ends with an image of the original design with text on screen saying Jim Carrey will single-handedly save this movie.
Oh yeah.
The irony being is that it ultimately, Jim Carrey, just saying this now, yes, they're right, but if it wasn't for that redesign,
The
this
movie would have failed.
But
yeah.
also
But
like
we're now witnessing. I'm sorry.
but like yeah, just to tell you right now, Stalin, I have not seen this movie. I am completely blind.
I mean, okay, so this isn't, and since you haven't seen the movie, this isn't really a spoiler, I guess. But like, you know that his buddy is played by James Marsden in this movie, right?
Enchanted.
So-
I knew that.
So
Yep.
one thing that someone actually pointed out, and I didn't even think of this. Why does James Marsden always have to talk to like an anthropomorphic animal?
Not
in like,
Not
in, like,
necessarily,
Warhol?
because he was
Really
also in 21 Dresses.
No, I mean,
27,
in
yeah,
like
27
a couple of his
dresses,
movies,
yeah.
in Enchanted and in Hop, he's already done this. So,
Oh yeah.
and also in X-Men. The joke about James Marsden for me for a long time.
Here's the thing. I didn't even realize this, but like someone on YouTube actually pointed out, there's actually a shot in this movie that's almost identical to one in Hop,
right? Yeah,
where,
I know
where
what
he's
you're
actually
talking
sitting.
about.
He's sitting in the front seat of his car next to him, and there's a scene just like that in this movie too.
Yeah,
so
a lot of scenes where they're sitting in the car and Hop. Like
Also,
Okay, so the only difference between Hop and the Sonic movie is that we don't see a full hostile takeover of the Motobugs versus, the drones start taking over like how in Hop, the chicken takes over for
that
no
movie
reason.
I've never had any interest in seeing that movie.
I
since the
never had
day-
any interest either. Not really.
Also, before we get a little more carried away, because we should still save some of the views on the movie for when it actually starts in the next 17 minutes. We should talk a little bit more about Sonic himself. So, I was telling Stalin about this really bizarre history that I had with Sonic, and it's a good kind of bizarre, not a bad one, but when I was a kid, I mean, I enjoyed Mario and all as much as I love Sonic, but nowadays I would say, yeah, I think Sonic ran with me more than Mario did, but anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, did you wait? I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I know, but I was also trying to get to the point. Hey, can I please talk about it? Yeah.
Sorry.
What happened was, when I was a kid, I loved Sonic. I mean, I loved the retro games and the ones that were modern at the time, so the ones that were on 6th generation consoles all the way up. But this really bizarre thing happened to me that when I got to some like 10th or 11th grade, I encountered a number of Sonic fans, or I shouldn't even say fans because they weren't really good people. I consider them fanboys because that's the bad term. I came across a number of Sonic fanboys in my high school who they would threaten me with violence if I said I didn't like Shadow the Hedgehog, or I mean, admittedly, when I was a kid, I said that I hated Shadow, and realistically, that's just because Shadow's development was just thrown out the window after one game. But that's a different story. So stuff like that happened. I was also told that I was, gay or stupid for liking Sonic. That childish stuff, but there also came a time where, while the internet shouldn't necessarily matter, I ran into some people online who were trying to dictate to me how Sonic needs to be this specific way, and your ideas are fucking stupid, this, that, and the other. And it got to a point where I just wanted to dissociate myself from the Sonic community, so in college I unfortunately did. But then there came what I like to call the healing process, and it's a very funny story how this happened. So in 2017, late 2017, about 6 months after I got my bachelor's degree, I was lucky enough to land a job in my field as quickly as I did. Not meaning to boast, I'm just saying this is part of the story. And one of the guys I met at my job, who calls himself Sonic Chaos, that's his alias at least, I won't give out his full name, or you can also call him T, but
Yeah.
it was interesting. I was sitting with him in one of the meeting rooms because we were talking about a project that we needed to get done, and I noticed that he had the Sonic Special Forces unit water bottle that he bought off the Sega shop, and I said, "Oh, there's Sonic on there. You like Sonic?" And he said, "Oh yeah, man, he's kind of my favorite game character." So when he told me about that story, I decided to go on Steam and look at some of the titles that were there and retry some of them. And he also told me about Team Sonic Racing and how he didn't think it was as good as Transform, but better than the first game. And I thought, I've always loved racing games, and Sonic was a part of my youth, so why not go back and give this a try to see if I can possibly find some merit in the Hedgie again. I sit down and I play it, and it was at that point I paused and I looked at my screen and said, why did I ever let Sonic go? I mean, I'm now starting to remember why he meant so much to me in my youth. And because of that, and because Stahl and I were able to... I was more able, I should say, because I was the hardhead in this situation, I was able to more openly talk with Stalin about it after this because T sort of got me back into Sonic, and all thanks to two particular individuals whose names are Stalin and T, and thanks to me revisiting something that, or I should say a character who sort of shaped my personality. That's how I recovered as a Sonic fan. And I'm at a point now where I've realized, fuck the internet, fuck anybody who dictates how I should think. I'm just gonna love Sonic because he means something to me individually.
Right.
Amen to that.
Yeah, definitely. And
yeah, go ahead, Nigel.
Okay, thanks. I have no particular nostalgia towards Sonic. I mean, like in my youth, like I just remember him existing, and I mainly remember playing Nintendo games mainly. But two things I want to take away from this. One, like, you know what? I'm over Mario myself. Like, I'm over any of his stuff. But also, like, I understand the big nostalgia for Sonic and why so many people get carried away with him. But because, like, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I can also acknowledge when all the fanboys in the Star Wars community get all toxic. And that's why I've had to step away from Star Wars as well for a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as
Do you mind if I tell my experiences about the Sonic franchise?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, you may. Oh God.
This here's the story of a goddamn it.
A story of a goddammit? That's really interesting.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
That's true.
This is the story of a
Hedgehog.
fucking dud.
Oh, dude.
Is that absolutely by 9
Story of the girl from.
This is the story of a
girl.
God damn it! I'm trying to remember her around the whole world. You go fuck this shit. But she loved those things.
Oh.
I absolutely loved her when she ran.
Oh no!
Oh,
I had a joke going there, but the instrumental just slowed it down.
Oh,
wow!
Bad.
No, but pretty much for those that are unaware, I am a massive Sonic fan to the point that I have an entire wall of nothing but figurines from the 20th anniversary that just sits here as I'm realizing these things have extremely high values to them.
But you would not trade them. But you would not trade them for the world, right?
Oh yeah, no. I have been to a lot of these conventions. I've met not every single one, but I do plan on going to a lot more now since I'm more open to going to the fan conventions. So there's a lot of love put into them, but
Yeah,
I've been to the official parties. I've met the people. There's stories. I mean,
Do you mean
just
are you talking about like the voice actors? Do you mean or?
No, I mean like the actual head honchos. Like I actually got a picture with Takashi Iizuka, the president of Sonic Team.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So just touching into that a little bit, me and a friend were the first in line for the 25th anniversary party for for Sonic back in San Diego 2016. And Aaron Weber had approached us because he noticed that we had been waiting in line this entire time and he saw us. And so there was a point I was like, hey guys, hold on a second. I want to show you. I got a surprise for you. Takashi Iizuka comes out. We get a picture with him. He gets to sign my Sonic Generations t-shirt. And it's just one of those things that always makes me, I see this man and I see that, I didn't realize he smokes, but I could see that a man like him is probably stressed because of how much Sonic means to a lot of people. So these announcements, like everyone's excited so hard. This was around the time that no one knew what Sonic Mania was, and it dropped. And it's like being in that room, the whole crowd exploded. And so I feel like with this movie, that's the same reaction, except it's in the boat of I didn't mind the original design, but the revision, mwah,
a lot better.
Yes, all the way. Like, yes, please. So when this movie finally dropped, it was almost like this euphoric moment where it's like, oh my God, this is. I knew that from the get-go, the people involved with it, the director behind Deadpool. You have
Jeff Fowler.
You have Jeff Fowler. You have Tim Miller.
This is actually his Jeff Fowler's directorial debut is here. This is the first movie he's ever did.
Wow.
Yeah, not only that, but also just bringing in the fact you have a lot of talented people on board. The only thing wrong was that design. Fun fact, the script for this movie has only been 90% modified. It is literally that.
Wow.
I can basically pinpoint every point that has either been a new scene they added or a slightly revised scene. But everything that's been filmed with any live action actors, they didn't add anything else new to that.
Okay.
What you're seeing is a literal revision of the model, and that's it.
Which is good because honestly, like, which is the good way to do it. Yep. I guess my experience with Sonic as a character is like, I had the kind of like Sonic collection thing. They had like a GameCube.
Oh yeah, Sonic Mega Collection.
Oh, Sonic Mega Collection.
Because I had Mega Collection Plus on Xbox.
Yeah, that Sonic Mega Collection was my initial introduction to it. I could never beat the first game and unlock the other ones, but so I didn't really pay much mind to them. I remember renting Shadow the Hedgehog from Blockbuster and getting really pissed off because I couldn't get past the second level. And then I would say like the first time I ever really sat down and played through a Sonic game was like in 2008 when Sonic Unleashed came out. My grandmother got for me as a Christmas gift for my Wii system, and I put it in. I'm like, you know what? I really like the daytime stages here. Then the Werehog stuff, I don't hate it. It's more the Wii remote controls that were the problem for me with it. But I really like the daytime stages. I liked his personality fine. That for me is like my entrance into it. Now, when I saw the trailer for the movie, I was like, this first I was like, okay, video game movies don't have a big track record. Most of them suck. The second trailer, when I saw it, I was a lot more hopeful. I was like, okay, this looks funnier. James Marsden, he's pretty reliable most of the time, and Ben Schwartz's voice, who voices him, it fits a lot better with the revised design than it did with the original one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess like when I saw it in the theater, it was like an afternoon showing, and it was me and just like these two other people that I didn't know, and so it was kind of. So I had like almost just like a private screening of it, like no annoying children, no like overzealous Sonic fans. Like I basically just had it in these other two people. So I was able to really enjoy it. It's like, movie by itself. Like, I don't have a ton of love for the games because I didn't play them a lot. But I appreciated what they were able to do, and we'll get into that more as we watch the thing in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, before we get started, we should probably get to Bloody Boy.
Yeah. Okay. I do not have a lot of history with the games either. I was never a big Sonic fan. I actually what did I play? I think the first main game I played it for like a few minutes, and I just didn't really. I don't know. It didn't. I don't know if it didn't interest. I don't know if it was because I wanted to play other games that I had, or if the game itself didn't interest me. But the first one I think I remember playing was Sonic Colors on the Wii. I think I also played Sonic Generations on the 3DS. The one I remember most vividly was Lost World on the 3DS. I played through most of that, and I played through a good amount of Lost World on the Wii as well. What else? I haven't really played any others other than that. So I know, of course I know of Sonic. I know like the characters and whatnot. I know that I'm familiar with the concept, but I'm not like super attached to it. But I did enjoy this movie. So I have some things to say about it. So
okay,
and you'll hear more about that when we get underway.
Yeah, before we do,
I'll just make one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Gray, can we do a sound test real quick? Just like put up like a YouTube video or something so I could hear it. That way,
yeah.
That way I could hear it on the Twitch stream.
I cannot play this video because it has copyrighted music. I cannot play that one. No, hold on.
Okay.
Let me think. Let's play a clip from Pulp Fiction. That should give us a decent idea.
Okay, good.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
Did you hear that?
Oh my god, I heard it.
Yeah. Hooray!
Hey,
yes, I heard it on the stream.
No copyright infringement intended. And also, people, that's just a line from a movie. That's not how I am. Remember that.
No.
I will say one other thing though. I attribute part of Sonic the Hedgehog's success to Detective Pikachu, in a way, because they acknowledged that you can make the characters look exactly like the video games, with slight differences, mind you.
Well, like the thing is,
be relatively successful.
The thing is, they also allowed the franchise to age before going into a live action movie, into a movie adaptation. I think,
unlike a certain plumber.
That's exactly what I was about to say, because I think the Mario Bros. I don't even think it was like 10 years. I don't even think it was like 10 years after the original game game that the live action.
6 years into it, I think.
Yeah. So they didn't. There wasn't even decent CGI back then. So imagine how much better it could have been if it was made around now. Like,
well, not only that, but
I've always had a problem with like movies that were based on video games, with a few exceptions. But hopefully, this movie like blows me away enough.
And actually,
I'll actually add one more thing to that element of the Mario Brothers movie, and just touching on it a little bit.
There's one being
made. The reason why that movie ended up the way it was is that it was originally supposed to be more like the video game. The new directors that got on board for it were basically like, "Fuck this shit. We're making it into our own little CG project." And if you've ever heard the stories from Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, they hated those guys with a burning passion.
And they showed up drunk most days on the set.
Well, they are. I mean, now they're making I believe they're actually making a completely CGI.
Yeah, there is, and the whole reason it worries me. Yeah, that's the whole reason it worries me. It's Illumination. That's why I'm worried about it.
Oh, by the way, we have 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, to wrap up with the Mario subject, I don't have much hope for it because Illumination are very, very, very hit or miss with their movies.
Oh, they are.
But I will give them one thing. They know how to market and they know how to make money.
Yeah, that's all they got.
They're crazy good with that stuff.
Yeah, before we get started, make sure that when you get the movie started up, make sure you guys have subtitles on. That way, if we're getting too loud, we can still see what's going on. So
subtitles English.
English on. Yes.
Also, I'm going to be that annoying security guard before we start this movie, and make sure you're at 0 on your timeline, by the way.
Yes, I am.
I'm going to be the annoying security guy. Oh, go ahead.
I'm on 0 on my timeline.
I don't... What did Bloody say a moment ago?
Subtitle. I said 0, make sure you're at 0 and subtitles on.
Yes. So that's the annoying... So now we're at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be the annoying movie guy. If there's any talking in this movie, unless you're one of the 5 of us, you're dealing with me after this screening's over, biatch. No, I'm kidding. Just have fun. Go ahead and have fun.
I wonder how that's going to work.
So you're the bouncer in the theater.
So everybody, let's just say, get yourself a water, get yourself a soda, get yourself a popcorn, get milk duds because they look like my nipples, or get some yellow liquid for your popcorn because it's non-dairy, and most importantly...
I might get some ramen because Olive Garden's closed.
Or you can get a chili dog.
Get yourself a chili dog, yeah.
Yeah, mine is just loading. Hold on.
Okay.
And
wait, no, I have to go back to the beginning.
Man, this is a short movie.
It's I don't think hour and 40's short. I think that's a decent length.
I think it's I think the length is good enough for this. To me, remember, this is sort of just an introduction.
In my opinion,
it's not gonna let me go back to 0 paused. Dang it! It's
just pause it as fast as you can so that it's at 0.
I got it.
Okay, and the other thing I was going to mention was, to me, an hour and 40 minutes isn't a short movie. To me, a short movie is an hour and 20 minutes or less. That, to me, is a short movie.
If it's like an hour length,
like Destroying Christmas.
Yeah.
I prefer not to bring up that Kirk Cameron movie again, thank you.
Which is why I only said Destroying Christmas, not Saving.
Anyway.
Yeah, but we're officially getting started, so everybody out there who's watching along with us, remember, please have a legal copy of the movie. We will not take any responsibility for you committing piracy. And we do not condone it in any way, shape, or form, nor under any circumstances.
Right.
Don't be a pirate.
Yeah. Anyway, are you four ready to get started?
Yeah, Captain.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Then before we get started, I just want to remind everybody out there in the world what these two really nice fans told me at the premiere screening. Remember to always go fast.
Chili dogs.
You don't know chili dogs, Chula White. I'm the one who gets the chili dogs. Hooba dooba. Anyway,
Sonic.
Anyway, I'm at 0. So 3, 2, 1, Sonic.
Happy birthday, Sonic.
You know, Sonic movie's about to be great when you see the rings pop up.
Yeah, the ring up above the Paramount logo.
It even makes the sound effects. That's the best part about it.
And I should let everybody out. Before Salt says anything,
I'm sorry.
I just want to say, before we get started, I want to let people know this is my very first time seeing the movie since its premiere on the 13th of February. So this is the actual first time of me seeing this at home.
This is
I'm gonna add to this
first experience.
And I'm gonna add to this the Sega. Okay, so the Sega logo right here. Those were
every
all
Sega game
franchises that are still ongoing to this very.
And
Sonic 06 in the center of it.
Well, hey, I also saw.
No, that was Sonic Lost World.
Yeah, that was Lost World. That was Generations. But I also saw Jet Set Radio in there.
Oh yeah.
Also, this was the very first thing I noticed as soon as this movie started. Product placement, U.S. Bank. That was the first thing I saw once this movie began.
Now, there is something I'd like to say here. In just a minute here.
I know what you're thinking.
Why do all movies do this? Where they say, "Oh, how did I get in this situation?" Why do they?
Yeah, well, they use that. That's actually a typical cliche you see in a lot of movies, where like it's like in the middle of action of the action. I mean, Star Wars did the same thing. Like a bunch of, it's actually a nice way to like get people invested at first.
Also, I got another little fun fact brought in here. This scene is new. This is not in the part of this is not in the original script. But the Green Hill aspect to this is exactly how it was supposed to be in the original movie.
That looks amazing.
It looks like it does in the original trailer, too.
And not only that, but the baby design for Sonic is actually how he was supposed to look. He was gonna look like this originally in the original thing. All they did was just splice him up a little bit, like just modify him just a teeny bit.
Now okay, so this whole thing, this owl, Longclaw, who is his guardian, this is completely new. This was not in any of the games.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, but it was in the original script.
it's just I feel like they retconned a lot from the games for this movie.
They did.
I can appreciate that.
Oh geez, there's
Also,
Pac-Man,
Pac-A-Kamek. No, the
Honestly,
Knuckles
though,
tribe. That's the Knuckles tribe right there.
Yeah, and
And
there's
that was in
Pac-A-Kamek.
the script.
And I led them right to us.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, that's Tikal's father who's leading that tribe.
Oh wow.
And that's the Knuckles tribe.
Oh, she's got hit in her spleen, I think.
Oh god.
Oh no, the spleen's on the left side. Spleen's on the left side. That was a punctured lung.
Okay. All right, so it's time for me to jump in and say that this is the new rewritten part, the revision to the script. The best way you can tell what's new to the script that wasn't already in it, anything with CG has been repurposed. So, for example, this particular scene in the original script, Longclaw was actually going to go inside of the ring to Earth with Sonic. And we were going to see Longclaw actually die in probably one of the more depressing deleted scenes they have for this movie.
And this opening is actually, and when I first saw the movie, this is actually a pretty dark way to start the movie off anyway.
It is. Yeah, it actually is.
And I kind of respect it for that.
Wow.
Oh no, it was gonna be much darker. We were literally gonna see Longclaw die from her wounds in the original script.
So, yeah, that opening scene is probably my least favorite.
This is not a Don Bluth movie. We're not gonna see parents getting killed.
Oh, real quick. Before you go on, I looked up Green Hills, Montana. Believe it or not, it is a real place. It's a ranch in Bozeman.
Well, I mean, they obviously used it because the town.
I mean, the city's technically Bozeman, Montana, but Green Hills is a ranch in Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to retire in Bozeman, by the way. It's a great place to retire.
Now, I was about to say, it said this is 10 years later. I will have something to say about that a little bit later. So we'll get there when we get there.
Well, actually, no, it makes sense in context. That means Sonic was 5 when all this went down.
No,
so Sonic's been living on Earth for about 10 years.
No, but there is something else I want to say about it.
Okay. Okay, so the turtle, this scene, and the turtle are in the original script.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, this looks a lot like the original trailer too. Yeah.
In the original trailer.
And there goes our little furry friend.
Look at him! Look at this blue boy.
Oh, they're like, yeah.
Even faster this time, I'm sure. Yep.
Yeah, 300.
Yep.
Sonic's fastest speed.
Baby, shit, new record. Let me try that shit again.
Sonic's fastest. Sonic is the speed of sound, so shouldn't his fastest speed be 768 miles per hour?
Yeah, that must be him at his peak.
Well, no, because this film retcons that aspect of the character, because we don't know what his max speed is, but we know this is an element I actually do like that the movie added. Electricity. He has electricity to himself, which I think is really good.
Okay, yeah.
Stole a bagel.
The bit of fur right there, the original script for this is gonna have a lot more stuff with the games. Like, they originally put like crystals and all this good stuff in there. They changed it to the little spike right there.
All right, y'all. New scene that's not in the original script. This is it. I know. Okay, so I know about this one because this was something Tyson Hess had mentioned. They had actually been writing little jokes like this to pitch for little scenes like this, and this is one of them.
And
no, but this song works perfectly. It really does.
I love
That's what everyone was saying. Either this or Speed Demon by Michael Jackson would have fit.
I like this better. This fits better with the tone of the thing to me.
And speaking of the soundtrack, there's actually a vinyl record being put out for this movie within a month or two, and I actually pre-ordered it.
Okay.
So at TMG 2021, if Roger Craig Smith is there, God forbid, I hope he is, I'm gonna get him to sign that vinyl.
Okay.
Sonic fans.
I want to know where he got. I want to know where he got all this stuff.
He probably stole it. He probably stole it.
He probably stole it. Like He's having a lot of fun surviving on his own.
Oh, by the way, there's the
Look at
Sonic
his
logo
headband.
on his headband. Yeah.
And look closely at what they're playing on. He's playing on something called Hilltop Road.
Yeah, Hilltop Zone. Hilltop Zone.
Yeah.
So this is something.
Oh, the Sega Saturn logo. That's his original. That's his original world.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
See, and this is something that I like about the movie a lot. Is like.
Now, is this a shot at Mario? I'm
No, because there are mushrooms all throughout
It
Sonic's
is.
games. There's mushrooms all throughout Sonic's games.
See, the thing about it is
okay.
that it's unsure whether or not it is a direct jab at Mario. I don't think it was written like that.
No, it wasn't.
Kind of.
It'd be more of a direct jab if he like insulted a pizzeria or something.
The Donut Lord.
The Donut Lord.
He's
I'd like
eating
to
a
know
French
who-
cruller.
Like to invent. I'd like to know the cliche. Like who?
Pretzel lady.
Pretzel lady.
Okay, so contrary to belief, they actually. I don't know if the screenshot is legit, but I think this was in the original script. Because they were originally doing the model.
Fucking Sonic.
So this
Oh
part,
my God.
Crazy Carl introduction, is actually new to the movie. They had to re-record part of this.
Shit's
Yeah, so part of this is actually re-edited because the original scene went a little more detail into it, and you saw a little bit more of his elaborate trap.
Speed.
Keanu.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know, be glad it was this movie instead of John Wick.
Or Speed 2.
Cruise control.
Yeah,
Or
cruise
the
control.
Matrix.
Did you say the Matrix or the Matrix?
I mean the Matrix, the Matrix.
You said the Matrix.
Hey guys, check out a brand new movie, The Matrix. It's when you meet the Trix Bunny. Yeah, that's right. He's in the underground world now.
Or if you're in the Matrix on meth.
Oh god, the Meth Tricks?
Wait, was
The
that a scene
Matrix.
from The Naked Gun that I just saw?
Was that the Naked Gun? Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like
Yeah.
The Naked Gun.
Oh my
I noticed.
God.
I didn't notice that before.
One of our more recent.
It's
riffs.
Enrico Palazzo.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, we riffed that movie as well.
Back in
Yeah.
September.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah. Something I like about this is like you have all these references to the game in here.
Oh
that
no, Marine the raccoon and her cousins are eating up everything.
I missed all these references, but it doesn't matter because they put them in there and then they keep going.
Well, the thing about this movie is they actually don't try to reference too much from the games. Like I feel like this is more or less introducing an unknown audience to something that they're vaguely familiar with.
And you know what? That's
Which,
got
from what I've heard from everyone that I've talked to that is not that big on the Sonic franchise, they really like this movie, which
It's a really good introduction to it.
yeah. So when we get into the sequel, that's when it gets a bit closer to the games.
Yeah, so this seems to be an origin story from how I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this cake. I love this cake.
I love this too.
I agree with that. It does.
Yes,
Oh
I
no,
agree.
LA's better.
She bought 2 cakes. That's the sign of a really good supporting wife. If you didn't get the job,
Right there.
fuck that place. If you got the job, yeah, you did it. I love this place.
I was stuck with the San Francisco sucks cake personally.
I
no.
love that too.
This
hey,
is my
hey.
favorite product placement in the entire movie
Zillow.
because it's so
Oh.
blatantly obvious that if
You know
you
what?
re-look at that again, Amy Rose is in the comments.
Oh wow, I
What
just
about-
realized.
Oh, Amy
Wow.
Rose.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's one of the comments on the
Wow.
apartment.
Wow.
I'll
That's
have
nice.
to-
You're gonna give up
Yeah.
your really nice
I'll have
home
to
and
find a
Greece. Oh wait, it's because
screen
he's
cap
getting
of that.
promoted.
But
Yeah.
you know, I imagine if that's
so
adding
far-
to the second movie, they could actually bring up the fact that she found one of those rings and got trapped here at some point.
But you know what though? Like I think the rings, now that I'm seeing them, like in how they're being used in the universe, like I didn't know that about that in the games, but
Oh no, it's not. This is original to the movie.
That's something
oh,
new.
oh,
It has
never
nothing to
mind.
do with the games at all. It's new.
Okay, it's-
Although, touching further on that, they could be combining 2 elements to it. Now, pay attention to every time Sonic loses his rings And you'll notice that it kind of plays like that in the games. But the rings also being a transporter to another world could also come from the special rings. And,
yeah,
correct. You get to, like, the end goal and you get the special stages.
This
so
is
they're combining
hilarious.
those two elements together and making something with it that works in a cinematic sense.
Always leaving his hometown.
Because he got accepted to the
he got promoted.
He's talking to his only friends.
The animals.
No, his only friend happens to be a donut.
Oh, of course it's a donut.
Because he's the donut lord, motherfucker.
Donut.
But you know what? Donuts are cool.
Hell yeah, they are.
All the time and
so anyone living within the Los Angeles area, as of last week, you could sign up and retweet and follow a tweet from the official Sonic movie, and people basically just started getting free donuts. Courtesy graduation.
Oh,
that was so cool. And also, this scene is extremely cool. I love scenes like these.
This is nice.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
This is nice.
I wonder if those outfits are being auctioned on eBay now.
Could be.
Could be, could not be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know these kids are probably just big Sonic fanatics, because before this movie came out, I beaten it as someone who worked within the school district, my local school district. Well, local in terms of like state, but I could, every time I wore a Sonic hat, I had my pin hat with all the Sonic stuff. High school, middle school, elementary school, preschool, early ed, everyone's like, that's Sonic from Sonic Dash. It's like, I'm just happy to hear that somebody knows what Sonic is. It just makes my heart so.
This is straight out of this is like a Looney Tunes thing.
It's fine. I mean, it's
no. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. No.
And Stalin, I'm just really happy I'm still in relation with a good Sonic fan who got me back into Sonic.
Yeah.
Everyone that says that this isn't, there are a couple people online that did note that this character is an injustice to Sonic's character. What fucking bullshit! This is exactly what Sonic would do in a situation like this.
Yeah, really. Like,
I mean,
what do you expect him to do?
I mean, there are some.
No. I don't mean in the sense that he's lonely alone on this planet. In any other context, Sonic would be the one to start his own baseball team consisting of only him.
It's genius.
There's a whole episode of this on Sonic X.
It's genius as all hell.
Yeah, like I love it. I love that he's like doing.
Unfortunately to say, this part right here sums up me for the last 3 years.
God damn it, me too.
Just being alone, yeah.
Well, it also sums up these past several months. I've been a lone wolf for quite a while now.
Well, I mean,
now
that a lot of us are in quarantine, it sums a lot of us up, I think.
The thing about this is, something that this movie does really well is like, it has a really good balance of like being fun, but also taking this pain honestly.
And here comes the rising action to the movie, or at least the first one.
And so I can also. This is the one aspect of Sonic's character that I actually do appreciate in terms of his ability. The fact that as he's going fast, the faster he's going, there's more electricity being spun into his hair.
See, the first trailer for this movie was misleading because it made it sound like him running down the street was what caused the power to go out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's a lot of trailers in a nutshell. They did a lot. You'll see a lot of the scenes that were in the trailer. The first trailer are not in this one, because they were just meant to be literal trailer scenes.
They've been modified or something.
Well, no, some of them have. I can say that some of them have. Like, for example, have you seen that one shot from the teaser trailer where Sonic's looking directly in his eyes and all that, and he's doing like the on your marks, get set, go? That was slightly retooled for this. I won't say where, but it was slightly retooled.
Okay, all right.
How could they still have cell signals if the electricity took out everything, including cell towers?
Oh, yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's an oversight there.
Well, they have backup generators. I think that's what they were noting.
You know what?
So they probably have emergency phones.
But even then, like, what about the Wi-Fi?
I mean, there are some logic gaps in this movie, but they don't emphasize them too much, so they're kind of easy to look over for me.
Oh, the Pentagon. I've actually been there before. I've been there before.
Okay, so
Now,
I got
here's
another fun
actually
fact for you guys. Gary Chalk, the voice of Grounder, is in this scene.
Yeah, I know he's
Oh.
I know he's in the scene. Where is he?
Right there.
The bald
Where?
guy.
Bald one. He's
The
bald
bald
and
one?
thinning.
So in
Yes.
other words,
Okay.
coconuts. Oh no, it was Grounder.
No,
Grounder, yeah.
Dr. Robotnik from Sonic Underground.
Okay.
Okay,
also
now,
Grounder.
one thing that bothers me, and someone actually pointed this out, this happened, he said this happened 20 minutes ago, then why are they all prepared for this meeting already? Like...
Because the Pentagon's a defense building. It's an emergency defense building.
Yeah, I think it was just, because it was Berlizzi who made that joke, and Berlizzi just likes to make fun of everything, so...
Well, also,
I'm
I've
just
been to the Pentagon before. It's a very, very secure building.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I'm pretty sure in cases like this, they need to respond fast because you're gonna have like a huge outcry immediately. So they need to keep this on the low as best as possible.
You know what's actually funny? Like, I want to know, since this is supposed to be like in the video games it makes sense, but this is supposed to be like the real world. I find it funny that his actual last name is Robotnik.
That is his
Well,
actual last name in the games.
Yeah, like he could have.
Well, that no, but
for
like,
all I know, though, like they could have done some bullshit where they said like, oh, I changed. It was actually Richardson, but I changed it just to sound more like a badass.
I know. I was thinking that maybe that's what he just goes by.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so they acknowledge.
And here he comes. Here he is.
Okay, so
James Eugene Carey.
They acknowledge the last name here as Robotnik, and the drones explains the nickname later on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'll give this movie one thing. From day one, Jim Carrey was going to be the saving grace because I'm a big Jim Carrey fan, and Jim Carrey has not been this wacky since
Bruce Almighty. Yeah. And that was.
He has not
let me take
to
a.
get this wacky.
That was 17 years prior.
Yeah. He's been taking a lot more serious films. He's been doing more of the straight man act. So this was Jim Carrey at his absolute finest. This was the role he was destined to do. A lot of people complained that while Jim Carrey works for Robotnik's character, it didn't work in terms of physical appearance. To that, I say they make it work. Jim Carrey, hands down, to me is one of my favorite live action iterations because he's the only live action iteration of Robotnik.
You can't do everything when you're adapting something. You can't do everything accurate to the original source. You just can't.
No, you can't.
That's true, but
that doesn't mean it's bad.
Spoiler alert: she dies in the end.
I absolutely do love Jim Carrey's performance. He was just allowed to go as over the top and hammy as possible, and it fits so well. This is what he's good with.
Okay,
I like his dramatic stuff, but this
disturbs
is
me.
what he's good with.
That bothers me, the fact that he just said, "Look what came out of my egg sack."
Oh God.
He doesn't even have one. He's a male.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, he's
I know it's a metaphor. I know it's a metaphor. I know.
Right.
No,
I
it's
know.
literally
It just
like
bothers
going
me.
back to the Charlotte's Web joke that he made.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
he was.
Yeah.
It still bothers me though.
It's evolution still.
Yeah.
Also, I'll give this one aspect to him as well. This man is the smartest man in the world.
Yeah.
But you know, the one thing that I can tolerate this when you see it, it really does play like a Tom. At this point, this is where it starts playing like a Tom and Jerry Roadrunner cartoon.
It probably will.
Now, I was actually in the bathroom at the theater when this scene around here was taking place, so I don't know everything that happens.
Oh, someone.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, not this scene. Like coming up after this.
Yeah.
Sorry, something weird happened. Weird happened with my internet, and now it's saying we're having a problem playing the video on my end.
Oh, we need to pause.
Yeah, because of course it has to be my end that does this.
Well, when you're able to refresh it, we're almost. I'll let you know what time we're on, and I'll just keep saying the second.
We might have to all stop the movie on our ends.
I'm so
catch up.
sorry.
All right.
I'm
where are you?
about this.
So
Where are
pause
you
right
all
now.
at?
I'm at
So
2150.
21,
2150.
52, 53, 54, 55.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, Stone. Pause. I thought we had to pause.
We are.
Yeah, what's the thought?
Let's try and bring it at 22 minutes exact.
Okay, I'm at
Okay.
22. I'm at 22. I'm paused at
Okay.
22.
Okay. Let me.
I'm not at 22. Let me get there.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me get
me
there.
too.
So I'm so sorry about this. My computer just sucks.
Oh no,
sometimes.
don't sweat it. It's no worries.
That's not
Technology
necessarily
hates you.
that's not necessarily your computer. That just means your internet. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
So
I'm at
that-
22.
Yep.
I'm paused at
Are we good?
22.
Yeah.
All right, so shall I?
Not yet.
Hold up.
I'm at 2158. I'll just be a couple of things behind. It's fine.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
ready?
Just tell me when to go.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, resume.
That's no baby Bigfoot.
That's
Okay.
no baby Bigfoot. Yeah, that's a small foot.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we just say that they said terrorist attack?
Divert all search units to the
Yeah. The times have really changed, man.
Woo-wee.
Leap for me.
Also, like Jim
You
Carrey
know-
in his outfit, he reminds me a little bit of Robbie Rotten a little.
Really?
So, does anyone remember?
Kind
there
of,
was
kind
a-
of.
Okay.
Does anyone remember a fan film that came out a couple of years ago
Yes.
that everyone was comparing to this one
Yes.
when the teaser trailer for this came out?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah,
There
this
was
is
a
where
military. Yeah, this is. There was a military part of this.
this is where I was in the bathroom, so I didn't see this part right here.
Okay.
I like how he said essential items considering the state of our world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Of course, he would consider
Yes.
that an essential item.
Actually, I will. Okay, making note to the whole viral outbreak we are experiencing. So in the comics, the IDW comics, they do a similar thing too. Only they found the most ingenious way to make a zombie apocalypse work. And it's all about a virus called the Zombot virus. And I won't say any more beyond that, but Sonic speed benefits him in that. And I'm just saying now, it is a crazy, crazy saga. Like, my God.
Wow.
How did Tika
Okay,
get
this
down
is-
to San Francisco that quickly?
This is unbelievable. There's no way that the town's power
really.
will be fixed the next day.
From Montana to
No.
San Francisco, it'd probably take, I think, 3 days on car if you just
Oh,
went
yeah.
nonstop.
At
Yeah,
least
this-
3.
This probably runs.
Olive
This
Garden,
this travel logic runs on the same as The Room.
Or Goofy movie.
A goofy movie.
Yeah, Goofy movie, more
probably.
like.
Actually, yeah.
Boy, Maxley, we're gonna go cross country in 2 days. Gee, Dad, that sounds great. Yo, Maxley, you don't sound the same. You sound a little drunk.
That's
He had to
because
get a
of
lick of the icing.
Ugh.
And wow, Tom's mother-in-law is a bitch.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
I should make note of this.
Here we go.
So remember when I noted every time Sonic has his rings, there's something interesting about that aspect that they keep from the games, and you're about to see it.
That sounds awful. I can't do
Mushrooms that'll make you hallucinate.
Mushrooms that won't even make you fucking high.
It'll only give me a body high.
And here comes that
Everyone,
infamous scene,
stay
but
with
better.
me.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Meow?
Yeah.
Ah!
I like that it was changed a bit. I like that he wasn't smile. I like that he had the ring in his hand. I like that he did smile weird.
And
And how'd that all of a
Something
sudden?
I'm gonna note.
How'd
So
that
this
all of a
is
sudden
something
go
I'm
from
gonna
being
note
mushrooms
from-
to San Francisco?
Oh, wait. He said San Francisco.
Yeah, he's looking at the shirt.
Yeah, well, they're going to San Francisco now, based on the ring.
Not
Or
anymore.
no, the ring.
There go the
the
rings.
rings are in San Francisco.
Well, no. Okay, so what they don't explain, they don't elaborate too much on this, is that the way the rings work in this movie is if you see a city and you note the name, the rings will connect two and two together and look at the geolocation based off of where you are. So, for example, San Francisco, it knows that you're on Earth, and it's mystical, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally get it. Like, but so far from what I'm seeing,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
From what I'm seeing, though, so far, like, I can see how a casual viewer can get wrapped up in the world of Sonic.
It does a good job of immersing him in our planet.
Yeah.
I will give them one thing too. Oh no.
On our planet.
Uh-oh.
You can talk.
Is everything all right? Did
You're not.
the connection go out?
He's handling this a lot better than Dave Seville did.
Yeah,
and that's something that I like about this is that they don't do a ton of the human freaking out of the animal thing.
Yeah.
No, this is more or less there's that factor where it's like, holy shit, what the huck is what the huck? Oh yeah. What the yuck is that? But it's rather you have the first reaction and the second reaction is either kill or protect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that he's not like freaking out about it for 5 minutes. Right.
Quote of the year.
Not even wearing pants. That is the quote of the year.
James Marsden doesn't want to get probed.
well, no. The real quote of the year is "I'm not wearing pants" because that's everyone's situation right now.
Yeah. Oh no. But so, going back to that previous scene, I will acknowledge the one thing I like about this movie is that they keep the idea that Sonic uses his rings as sort of like a, he kind of has like this safety net. He gets hit, bam, rings go away. Every time this happens, every time he gets hit in this movie, the rings disappear. And it's actually kind of a real subtle little note that you don't notice because they don't make it too obvious out there.
Yeah,
I like that because again, like I like that the movie doesn't have. I mean, it has fan service, but it doesn't require you to understand it to grasp what's happening.
Yeah.
This is what I like about the movie versus Detective Pikachu, where I think they're both good movies, but Detective Pikachu has a reliance on you got to know which Pokemon is what to really get into it. Where this is sort of an audience, a general audience's introduction to the character, where Detective Pikachu felt like it's a good movie. I'm not denying it's a good movie, but it definitely feels like the fan service was more of the focus versus the actual plot. I mean, granted, it is an adaptation of the video too. Like, I don't mean the Pokemon series. I mean Detective Pikachu, the video game.
Yeah.
I saw in a ton of interviews, these guys who are younger than Jim Carrey were like so like thrilled to be working with him.
Yeah,
because a lot of them looked up to him. And actually, the other interesting thing was a lot of these guys who were younger, who were acting in them, grew up playing the Sonic games, but Jim Carrey actually didn't know much about them because he's a lot older. So
okay,
but here's the thing I love about Jim Carrey. There's an interview that he did where he was talking about Dr. Robotnik, and for someone who doesn't play the games, he got the character spot on with one sentence. He's trying to capture that innocence that he could never get as a kid, that childhood joy. He sees that in Sonic and wants it. It's not about that's the character in the video games. There's so many opportunities in man with the IQ of 300 that can kill someone instantly, but he chooses not to because the character in the games is this man-child that has this extraordinary technical prowess and can basically deduce whatever he wants. It's hard for him to get outsmarted. But they catch Jim Carrey is one of those actors that whether or not you can disagree that the method acting's too strong, he gets into his role enough to a point that he knows exactly who this character is and he just does it flawlessly.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And the other thing about him in this movie particularly is Jim Carrey is known for his improving and just going nuts, and I feel like he doesn't do a ton of that in here.
I'm not saying a whole lot of his usual thing here.
You can't tell that this was written for him, though.
Yeah, it really was.
Yes.
Done that.
But what makes it so great is that you could put you could basically make this animated, and it'd be the exact same Robotnik / Eggman that you know in the video game.
Yeah, but like also this is basically what I'm seeing right now is Jim Carrey on a leash.
No. I have to disagree. This is Jim Carrey.
No. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. No. I think there is still some restraint to it. Like he's
there's restraint in terms of the character. I get what you're saying.
But as far as a lack of restraint, like Ace Ventura is easily that.
Ace Ventura has too much
true.
to restraint.
Yeah. That is true. But I feel like
at least I
Based
can
off,
see.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
At least I can see Carrie as a character here.
Carrie disappears into the character here.
Yeah, he does.
Well, see, I'm sorry.
That's why I'm saying he's on a leash.
Yeah, Sonic, you're not very.
Not very good at this hiding thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't talk to yourself out loud.
Okay,
like,
I got another fun fact for you guys.
Yes.
They actually made real life reproductions of some of these models so that the actors could actually interact with these models. And the ball is one of the few things that was actually left unchanged.
I'm never wrong.
Yeah.
It's time for everything, I guess.
But going back to what I was saying, I feel like in general, you're right that it is Jim Carrey on a leash, but this is Jim Carrey on like a nylon leash versus a lot of other roles he's done in the past 10 or 15 years, where it was Jim Carrey on a harness.
Yeah, like Truman shows him on a harness.
It's a different kind of role than this is. Like,
yeah,
I'm thinking more like Kick-Ass 2, where he's good in it, but he's so like buried in makeup, and he's not. I mean, I think he's good in the movie. It's just kind of like you see him and you wish he could do more.
I forgot that's probably like the meanest thing he says in this movie, I think. How can you threaten someone who didn't exist?
Don't hurt him.
Oh yes, that was satisfying.
No, this scene is in the original cut. It was in the original script, and it was made so much more funnier by how ugly the original design was.
Yeah, I have to say.
But like,
it's still good though that you're acting like that.
This scene really just shows you how loyal Tom is. Like, look how much he's already willing to protect Sonic, and he barely knows him yet. Like,
right. Yeah, your house just got destroyed by a giant, like a little robot thing.
Oh geez, this next line irritates the shit out of me.
Oh, there he goes, he's jumping.
No, this line right here. He's gonna bring up in a moment. This one.
Also, I like that this is Sonic. Like,
enough with the product placement, Jesus.
Well,
yeah,
you know,
the product placement here is
What's funny is, as of now, like the script was written a couple years ago, and as of now, Amazon hasn't done that yet. So
no, Amazon still does drone delivery. It's just local. They don't do it.
They do it. Oh, they do it. Okay.
Yeah, so they do it in certain communities. They don't just do it everywhere.
Anyway, though, like, you know how in the video games that Sonic's already a hero? Like, I love that you see Sonic sort of inexperienced with fighting bad guys at this point.
Well, I think it's because it's more or less that Sonic has been isolated for so long that this is sort of just his first thrill. So again, I like that it's an introduction. I actually don't mind it.
Right.
If they were to do the Sonic movie in any way, this is probably the best outcome.
Yeah, like
this is how you introduce it to the cinema. This is how you introduce it to a new audience.
This is a very doable origin story.
I think that's actually one of the more fascinating things I want to talk about. And this is something that I've been thinking about for a couple weeks now, because I'm actually working on a video related to it. Sonic is a way more flexible character in other media than the video games than Mario is.
That picture of Carrie with the sunglasses should have been the front cover for this.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't trust any place that's called Optical Illusions with my glasses. Like,
no.
I mean, and also, so has Robotnik ever had like an assistant before, like that guy?
Just robotic assistants.
Well, it kind of. Well, I feel like this is supposed to. I feel like in a way, this is supposed to kind of, like you were saying, this is supposed to be an origin story for Sonic. I feel like it's supposed to be an origin story for him as well, for Robotnik.
Oh no, it is. It's both of them, because the thing about the franchise that people forget, at its core, it's Sonic versus Robotnik.
It is,
but definitely. You still have other villains that are secondary. You know, you have the monsters, you have Sonic's friends, but literally at its core, it's Sonic versus Eggman.
So yeah, this is the scene that parallels Hop.
Yeah,
With them sitting next to each other.
Hop
The difference is,
this is funny.
yes, that and the difference is, part of this was actually different in the trailer, but they had recorded that only for the trailer. This is still in the original script.
Yeah.
But I'll also give this one other thing too. The composer for this movie, Junkie XL, he has never done comedic stings like this. And I actually think, yes, because this is, okay, just as a reminder, Real Effects and Tim Miller, who owns Real Effects, actually worked on Sonic before this movie. They were the people who did the CGI for Sonic 06 and Shout a Hedgehog.
The CGI in those games, I think, is actually pretty fine.
Yeah.
See,
I don't feel that way about Sonic 06, but Shout the Hedgehog to me has some of the. It is really, really good CG model.
Yeah, the CG models
works.
are fine.
Yeah, and so them coming back for this movie, you could tell that they were yearning to do that redesign, because this feels like something that was just an updated model of those CG Sonic models. They just, separated the eyes because that was one of the decisions they made, because it makes sense for the character in this.
He's a Pomeranian now.
This is Sonic in the 1970s.
Hey, Donut Lord, want to go to a disco? Oh, never mind. Road trip, woohoo!
I can't believe I have to drive you freaking hedgehog.
Hey, put your seatbelt on.
Got it?
I don't think he needs a seatbelt. He could just avoid the situation. All he needs, they actually do kind of elaborate on that later.
Sonic.
So you've been spying on us all for years.
Yes.
You're not planning for the restaurant, by the way.
Well, I wouldn't call it spying. I would just call it looking into your bedroom.
So he was like,
pretty much me at every party. I wasn't invited.
So he's supposed to be like 15 now, right?
Yes, because that's how he's canonically. Oh yeah, this part. No, Stalin, we're not gonna see this stupid side attraction. Get back in my freaking car, dude.
This actually, so this actually reminded you of Stalin when you saw it?
Yeah, because the whole reason it reminded me is because Stalin's the one who goes balls off the walls, and I'm the guy who's always trying to play it straight in our friendship.
I would literally jump out the car and just go to this place and be like, "Wow, this place is great!"
Stalin, we're trying to get to the TMD convention. This is no time to examine the Jersey Turnpike.
Oh my god! I love the way this license plate looks.
TMD.
I said TMG, not D.
Sorry, I thought it sounded like D.
Wow! Is that the New Jersey DMV? Holy shit!
We're not in New Jersey, Stalin.
You know what? What he just said is kind of accurate about payphones.
Payphones should be extinct by now.
Oh my god, wow.
I actually have always wondered, do they still have phone booths?
Maybe it's because he doesn't have any internet, I guess.
Oh, the piston pit. That's what you do at a campfire. You go and piston the pit once you're done with the fire.
He did what in this cup?
He did what in the pit?
And that's from Cars, by the way.
I know, obviously.
Yes.
I'm surprised for a family film they actually decided to include a bar.
See, when I was a kid,
actually.
Hey kids, hooting is totally okay.
Kids movie. We're gonna have an 8-minute scene in a bar.
To hoon.
Man, I gotta find the perfect disguise here. I wonder how dumb these people are.
Wait,
glasses and a hat. Perfect.
I have a question. Why can't he just use his cell phone to call this guy?
Probably because his phone is dead right now.
Can track him.
And there's probably no cell reception.
Okay.
Terrorism? I told them that.
Although, granted, I think regardless of such, they'd be able to. I think they wouldn't be able to track them as far with this versus the cell phone, because the cell phone always has geolocation, even if you turn it off.
That's true.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes, what is it, Jim?
I'll get to the scene when we get to it, but I really do like this speech.
Yes.
Where's your orbital bone?
You know what I did in response?
Nose.
You reported him to the principal's office because
Oh, okay.
It's the nose.
I examined the inefficiency of a world where brawn trumped brain, and I used technology to resolve that inefficiency.
The boy ate his meals through a straw for a year.
Damn.
That's even worse than what he did to you, dude. That's not cool.
Hey, hooray for me then, huh?
No, because you're about to become the bully with the straw.
Bad guy. He is the guy.
But I'm telling you right now, Stalin, you and I need to reenact this movie during our TMG trip next summer.
No. Well, we have to like film.
Or all of us.
Stalin
All
and,
of us.
we need to film him in the car. Yeah, he needs to like go out of the car like to find some attraction, and they'll be
I feel like it should be part of our TMG movie, actually.
Yes, that's what it should be.
Yes, absolutely. Like Stalin, we have to get to TMG now. Get back in the car.
We're not going to the freaking Jersey Turnpike.
Like a skit. Like
Not
we do like a little
before I
skit.
get a picture with this pole. This pole looks different than everything else.
Exactly the healthiest meal.
Okay,
I mean,
as long as I don't have to,
at least
have to
there's
photograph you naked.
Hey, at least there's milk. At least there's something healthy, I guess.
No, if it's whole milk, it's not healthy because then it's loaded with fat.
The Donut Lords trying to encourage.
Is that just milk and Doritos? Is that all that was?
I think so.
I thought there were donuts for a minute, but no.
Yeah, so
since the Donut Lord's addicted to donuts.
I can't wait to go back into one of these
As they
bars.
say in Texas, adios.
I'm not your partner. Come on, we're leaving.
How do you know who ZZ Top are? You're an alien.
I'm assuming he went to a
Oh my
concert.
god.
Remember, he's been spying on everyone.
For 10 years, good point.
Yep.
I mean, he knew.
Welcome to the piston pit. We pissed in the pit before we made your food.
Okay, but the thing is, I can imagine that because he's so fast, this guy can literally go cross country as fast as he wanted to.
Suffers from a very rare skin disease that's
See, I would. If my mom. Okay, let me say. If my mom. For those who don't know, my mom is a dermatologist, and if she saw that, I feel like she would be offended if she saw this movie and heard that line.
I don't think she'd be offended. I think she'd faint.
No, okay, so I actually do know a couple of people that do have real life skin conditions where the more you eat, I think it's the more you eat a certain vegetable or fruit, the more the pigmentation in your skin turns that color. Like it could go orange, blue. It's happened before. It's not healthy.
Oh yeah, that's because of beta carotene, and that's usually in carrots, cantaloupe, and stuff like that.
I actually didn't know until I saw this movie that was why it was called Bucket List. It makes sense.
So here's something that I find interesting. It seems to me that no one in this bar reacts to him. Like even the waitress who saw him right there.
Yeah, it's really peculiar.
It's the one where it's kind of like got his vulnerability a little bit.
No. Okay, so my favorite thing about this comes up in just a moment.
Oh, this scene is my.
You want bucket list with me, Stalin? Awesome, dude.
Hold on. We got a bucket list when we're
Oh, this right here.
Nicholson and Morgan Freeman in that one film.
I love this shit right here, man. Compete in the sport.
It reminds me the way that it's like a montage and then him crossing things off a list. Reminds me of that. It reminds me of that one SpongeBob episode where they were trying to do everything on SpongeBob's list.
Oh yeah, before he dies, because of a pie bomb.
No, my favorite of those gags was the one where SpongeBob's like, "What? But don't you see, Squidward?
He cries you a sweater. He cries you a sweater.
I love how James is just laughing like a masochist.
That's what it'd be like if you had me for a face.
Oh, the other thing about that in the Rhino is like it does have goofy, childish humor in it. They balance it out with more clever stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's what a good kids movie should do, though.
It should.
Yeah.
I love montage scenes.
At least a kids movie that's above passable, I think.
Okay, so this is why I didn't judge him before.
What kind is that?
The blue people.
The Blue Man Group.
It's not because of Blue Man Group. It's because he's a hipster. They were waiting for this opportunity.
It's because I hate blue people.
We don't like them blue people.
Oh God.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh.
Sonic, you might want to stop, dude. You might want to stop.
Don't kill him.
Stop antagonizing the huge man.
Yeah, really.
Oh, and
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, now
all because
Donald-
someone else got hit. Now it all just
Hey, so we
evolves
have a
into a bar
bar fight.
I
fight.
wonder, is this actually how bar fights start? Like,
Not necessarily. They can start for different reasons.
Yeah, look, mostly because
Disagreements, disagreements, fights over a girl, you name it. It can happen for many different things.
I think you got.
All right.
I think you got bigger problems than those
for a
buffalo
minute, I thought he was
wings.
gonna hit him
Okay.
in the nuts.
Oh.
So this is my favorite scene in the entire movie.
And they didn't spoil it in the trailer, actually.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they
no.
do.
I love this. Everybody keeps saying this is the Quicksilver scene, this is the over the hedge scene, but I'll say one thing: this got me into
I
action
don't
back.
care. Yeah, it's like I don't care how many times it's done. Like
It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. Like
Okay,
this is
okay,
also
was he?
wait, hold on.
Okay,
This also,
So I haven't played the games. Is he able to do this in the games too?
It
No.
depends. It depends on which game it is.
Well,
You
this
know,
is
actually, I'm willing to believe you could do that in any situation.
now that
Yeah.
I think about it, this is also the scene from Big Fish in the circus.
Yeah, but
Oh,
this is a
that's
bit
gonna hurt like hell.
wackier.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Being
that's what it reminded me of.
honest with you here, I feel like this scene is exactly what Sonic is, and they
Steal
they
all the
catch
chili
that up
dogs.
The whole movie, but this is exactly what Sonic would do in a situation like this. I love this song to bits and pieces. Boom by X Ambassadors is so good, and it fits so well with this.
this
Man,
song is
that's
perfect
what
for this.
Oh, exactly.
And like,
I'll
and
give
again,
this.
I've never heard
So
this
I'll give
song.
this movie.
Me neither.
I'll give this movie one thing: its song choices are just spot
they're
on. Like,
brilliant.
mwah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Also, it's filmed
I'd say
well
so.
too. Like, it's filmed really well too. You can. There's a lot of stuff going on in every shot of it. It's very busy.
And would you be willing to believe this was all in the original script?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. The film would have been perfectly fine. The one criticism,
And Tom magically opens a beer just like that.
yeah, the
Wow.
one criticism the film would have had if they had not changed the design was everything else would have been spot on. But it's that change in the design that makes it just, wow, this is good.
It needed that because his design before would have been really appalling to me and a lot of other people, at least that I saw.
Like, that's the thing. They actually catch the character. They do the character service perfectly. It's just that design.
And
But they fix the design, and it's like, oh my god, yes, all of my yes, please.
Yeah.
And again, even as me, somebody who doesn't play a ton of Sonic stuff, I recognize his personality from the streams that we've done and just the games that I have played with him.
Oh, if you have also noticed, if you've been paying attention to the detail of his design, he's not sporting his official shoes.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed that in the movie.
I didn't notice
No.
that the first time.
Yeah, so for the entire duration of the movie, he doesn't have his initial shoes, and that's what works great with this redesign.
Oh yeah.
You know it's Sonic. You don't even need to have the shoes on.
Right.
Originally, this movie was just gonna have him barefooted. With that,
That would have been
design.
awkward.
I had no
Tyson
idea.
Hess kept saying, "We don't need feet in this. Put some shoes on him."
Yeah.
Because everybody keeps asking, "Why do we wear gloves?" But it's like, okay, that's the camera. I loved it. I loved it at the top. He has the hanging animation, like when he's on an edge.
Nasty, dude. Is that from those chili dogs?
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
Might want to check your fur on that one, buddy.
Hey, Tom, what's this brown stuff on my towel?
And where are these yellow stains? And what are these?
White stains?
And where are these white stains? It's all like, yo, okay, no, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop right there.
I need to. I need
Who knew
to.
we'd go to this
think-
area in this
See,
movie?
if I was standing there, I would slap Tom in the face for that pun he just made. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, again, I like that the movie knows when to calm down and have little moments between the guys. It's not wall-to-wall action all the
You
time.
know what?
Well,
Yeah.
that's actually one of the things that I can.
it's called character development, and it's what
Yeah,
I like.
not only Not only that, but it's one of those things I can appreciate. They still keep the core essence of Sonic's character down, but what they add is that element that, yeah, Sonic kind of needs friends.
I love that moment right there. That's a sign that they're becoming friends.
But yeah,
he's
you know what?
He's that fast, blue blur, cocky hedgehog, but at the end of the day, he still wants to be loved.
Yeah. And that's why I can relate to Sonic on many ways. I try to be friends with people, but I can also be a cocky guy too.
Yeah, but also, this is seriously giving me vibes of Goofy movie, though. It really is.
Oh God, no! It's not like okay.
No.
I see that in the sense of the road trip, but it's nothing like that climax where. God, seeing Goofy that upset messed me up as a kid.
Yeah,
because I'm always thinking, you mean the fun-loving Goofy guy?
Hey, don't
you mean pissed off? It's like, oh shit.
Hey, don't spoil it because I'm thinking we should riff that someday. Actually.
Oh my God.
What a
Goofy
Goofy
movie?
movie?
Okay, I'll say no more.
I've actually thought about it for a while.
I thought
I'll
you've already
just say
seen
this
it.
much.
I can add it to the list if you want.
Oh, you know. So.
I mean, I think we've all seen it, but I don't know. We'll have to see if someone hasn't.
You know, I always love that jump cut in some movies where you see this scrawny guy can't you think he's not gonna win a fight, and then he literally throws the bigger guy out of the window.
Oh yeah.
So they're about to cross the state line into Siskiyou County. Yep, Siskiyou County right there.
So, what's on your bucket list?
I mean,
Yeah,
although-
everyone has a bucket list, right?
No, not everyone has one.
I have one. It's just now I have it written down.
I haven't really written much down either. I just need.
I mean, I do have things I want to do
I
before I die.
actually have a few things crossed off, but like, yeah, I do need to get my priorities straight on that.
There's a couple things on my bucket list, but I've already done them for the most part. There's a few of them I still need to do. I've got a list.
Give it to me.
Okay, there is one thing.
Also, fun fact: anybody that likes Ben Schwartz's performance in this, watch DuckTales. DuckTales is really
Oh yeah,
good.
DuckTales is what he's
2017.
even more famous for.
Actually, he's even more famous. Like even more than that, he's
Parks and
famous for being,
Recreation. Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec.
Oh, that's
he's really
right.
good on that too. Like it's a small part, but he's really good in it.
Now, agree or disagree? If Juan Swanson was Dr. Robotnik in this,
I wouldn't be able to take it seriously at all.
Hell
I'm
no.
sorry.
Hell no.
It's not small. There are hundreds of people.
Danny DeVito would have been a good one too. Like,
no, he would have been perfect for Detective Pikachu.
They actually considered him for Pikachu's voice in that, but they
Yeah, and then he
decided not.
rejected it.
Wow.
They also
Dang, if he was
considered. They also
sorry, go ahead.
considered Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson for Pikachu, so the list was long.
I love this. I love this.
Oh, this
I love
is
this.
brilliant.
Oh, is this
Okay, I love.
This
so that was
scene
my
is
favorite-
so full of what the
previous
fuck.
scene in the bar fight was my favorite scene in the movie for Sonic. This is my favorite
Is this-
scene. They just
Is this the
got this-
scene that I think it is?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
amazing. I
This
love
scene-
this bit for him.
This scene is just
Oh my
full
God.
of what the fuck.
Okay,
Oh
so
no,
now
this is not.
Wait,
Never mind,
no.
it's later.
This is not the scene I was thinking of.
This is the ambush. This is the ambush.
This is the ambush, but there's another scene coming up. So I'd have to say when it gets.
I feel like I like that Sonic cares so much about Tom, but I don't like the fact that he's being so like aggressive about it. That's the only thing.
Well, that's the thing about Sonic. Sonic
Well,
is
you
a
gotta
cocky
go back-
guy, but he's also in the game. Sonic is a
teenager.
cocky guy, but yeah, he's a teen. He loves his friends, and he gets aggressive when there's injustice.
Yeah.
Sonic hates
Okay.
injustice.
The other element I want to bring into this is that you have to. Sonic is 15.
Yes.
When you were 15, obviously it's different for everybody, but obviously teenagers have more hormones in their system. He's
Yes.
not going to be thinking rationally half the time.
Well, he's not,
Neither
well,
did I.
Well, he's also not. I mean, well, Tom also isn't trying to be a jerk. So that's the thing. So
Well,
Again,
no,
because
but
Sonic's
that's
an
why he's-
adolescent.
Yeah, he's an adolescent, so henceforth why Sonic is experiencing these new things he's never felt before, because there's more. That's sort of that hormone thing. You know how a lot of teenagers have that hormonious rage, but
and he hasn't
damn,
really.
baby,
the
I
other thing
love
is he
that.
hasn't really talked to anyone, but he hasn't had a relationship with anyone in a long
Yeah, that
time.
too.
So
So he has a lot of pent up feelings.
I totally get that. Yeah. Yeah.
No, the
So this was in the original script, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I absolutely love what is coming up.
Bonus life.
Yeah, hump that air. Hump that air.
I swear to God, everyone takes that flossing scene way too cringy, and I think it's like that's what Sonic would fucking do in a situation.
Oh
Wow.
shit.
Well,
In
his games, he wouldn't do that because that would be making a reference to another franchise. But
well, I disagree because the floss is something that Fortnite didn't invent; they just took it.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact: every dance that's in Fortnite is not original to Fortnite at all.
Man, those robot trucks have babies quick, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that is the one element to this that I love about what they did with Robotnik. Robotnik would obviously come up.
Oh,
with
this part
several
right
different
here.
plans
This part right here
within the
reminds me of my
same
brothers
machine.
and me. That's my family and me on road trips right there when we were kids.
Oh wow. Uh-oh.
what you had? Are you talking about the fighting or the car accident?
Fighting.
Well, the fighting is common. Come on.
I know, but it reminds me, that's all.
You seem good at that.
No,
Who said we were
Oh,
playing
boy.
shuffleboard?
Hey, look at me, I'm Tony Hawk.
I just love how goofy he is.
And during our live stream.
yeah, I mean, he's goofy. He's goofy, which is good. I like that Robotnik is actually competent.
Ever wonder where your tax dollars are going?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, tell me more, Jim Carrey.
Like, but again, like, Robotnik
Wait.
is actually.
It's all. Wait, him saying is all about family. Is that a reference to Fast and Furious?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
The
It is.
producer of Fast and Furious is on this movie.
Because he said
The whole
he
series
feels
in a
like Vin
nutshell.
Diesel. So
Well, no, because Vin Diesel does that in all the.
yeah.
Literally, what he's doing is all about his family.
He's
Yeah.
learning as we speak. Oh my god.
Well, at least
like-
we know why Sonic's such a good driver in the racing games now. He had practice on the open road in California.
The other
probably
brakes.
got-
There is no other brakes.
He probably got some good advice from Flo
Give me-
from Progressive.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sick shit, Tom.
You know what? I'm.
Give me a big fat break. I just love how like
This is the drone that doesn't end.
I just love how like unnecessary these things that Jim Carrey says are.
they
Like
work for the character, though.
they really do.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he said
And
fact
there's
that
the
he said-
screenshot for the picture right there.
The screenshot. Oh, nope. Throw it away. Throw it. Oh,
Take off your glove. Get rid of your
take your
glove,
glove
Sonic.
off and throw it.
Get rid of your glove. I'm sure you have another one.
I don't think he does. I think that's the glove. he
Dude,
uses.
throw the fucking shit away.
oh, it's on him.
Here, hold still.
It's probably a tracking device.
Think it is.
Oh shit, now Tom has
Oh.
it.
Uh-oh.
Assistant.
No, you didn't.
You bade.
Okay.
Little
This was
I mean, you
actually
knew-
something. This was actually a criticism that people were acknowledging in the initial movie, where Sonic at one point gets hit really hard, comes out of it just fine. But have you
Yeah.
noticed that it looks like he's almost on critical? He's almost in critical. He's in critical health condition. But did you
I
notice he has no
noticed.
rings?
Oh yeah, I just realized that.
Again,
That's
just
why
another-
it's like
just-
that.
It's just another
Wait, he has no
inconsistency.
rings? What?
He
Yeah,
has
his
no
rings aren't with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in San
So when he got hit
Francisco.
with the tranquilizer,
Oh, no,
he was fine because the rings protected him.
Oh.
And as we see later, there's another instance of that as well. But because he has no rings on him, he's more prone to dealing more physical damage.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I just love little details like that. These guys know what they were doing. That's what makes it so great.
What's funny is that like it's so unnecessary. He could have just pushed him against the wall himself, but he told him to pin himself against the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta give
That's
Age his
funny.
own credit. This guy's loyal to the end.
That's
There's
funny.
the quill.
Yep.
But here it comes.
I can
I was
dominate
just
the
call
world
the
with this.
hair.
Oh, he spoke
What?
Japanese.
Why did he have to
I
say
always
that in
wondered what
Japanese?
I always wondered what he
Oh.
said initially in the theater because it sounded Japanese,
Yeah.
but I thought it was something else.
And how does Tom drive to San Francisco without his eyes tearing up from all that
Yeah.
wind?
May I see your license registration, please?
Yeah,
I'm
that is
surprised-
so
yeah,
illegal.
That's a good point.
That's
How did no
illegal.
one pull him over?
His truck's illegal.
Right.
Actually, I'm pretty
Like,
sure.
It's like the car in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles that got burned up. Like you can't drive
Okay.
in that thing on the highway.
Okay, so fun fact: this is where they had that prop for Sonic. That's actually a real prop underneath that blanket.
Is good. I mean,
This mother-in-law is horrible, man.
call him the
No,
police.
it's not the mother-in-law. It's the sister-in-law.
The sister.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I thought. Yeah, it's her sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jojo! Now your niece is an accessory.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Wow.
Oh, hi, Ozzy.
Oh, that's
Oh,
an
God.
Aussie
Oh,
reference. That's a
God.
little furry little baby.
Hi, doggy. Hi, doggy.
Hi,
Oh,
hi,
Lord,
doggy.
baby
We're in
Jesus.
San Francisco now too.
Hold on a second,
Yeah.
doggy.
But one Tommy Wiseau.
Doggy, what are you doing? Do not mess with the blanket, doggy. Doggy, what is the matter with you? Oh God.
Oh, catch me, Jojo.
Oh, that was my fault, doggy. Uh-oh.
No, you
Oh,
can't.
here
Oh,
we go.
here comes the
This.
most bizarre moment of the whole movie.
This is-
Okay,
God.
look carefully. Look carefully right now. Crush 40.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Ah, cool.
They acknowledged it. They know about it.
Okay.
So some
You
of
know
the
why this
guys,
worked?
some of the guys I was
Works?
watching this movie with on premiere night, they were just watching this in silence, and then one of them just all of a sudden chuckles and goes, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Okay.
And you'll see why in a few seconds.
Oh yeah, and, the guys you met, they're following us, right? On Twitch and YouTube and stuff.
One of them's following me on Twitch, yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'll say this much. I'll say this much about this scene.
Bad
The
Nicks.
first bar fight scene is scene is my favorite for Sonic. This is my favorite because it's Jim Carrey in his full-blown element.
It's
This
Jim
is what
Carrey
I
at
meant
his
by Jim
finest.
Carrey with no
This is
restraint.
the moment where the leash comes off.
If any other actor were playing Jim Carrey in this movie, this scene wouldn't exist. Like,
Well, no. If
Yeah.
any other character is playing Robotnik, this is not only perfect for Robotnik's character, this
for
is
Jim
Jim Carrey 100% unadulterated.
You know what? And you know what? The reason why it works is because Jim Carrey is on a leash throughout so much of this, and so this little bit right here actually works.
This is him allowing to do whatever the hell he wants. And
What
it's
the
perfect.
fuck am I watching?
This is
Yeah,
Jim
really?
Carrey
What the?
allowing-
why
They just
would?
do the
What's
man
funny
with
is
the
like,
face
why would he
color.
waste? Why would he waste so much time building all this stuff too?
Because I'm starting to see the.
Wait, listen to this.
Buddy. Ah.
Who do I look like? An imbecile?
Yes.
Of course I want to lie.
I like how he just had to get like that line itself isn't even funny, but just the way he delivered it made it
Yeah,
funny.
no,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Unlimited.
We went into that
Unlimited.
same joke.
I will say this much though. When we get to the end, you'll see why I'm saying the next movie is going to be him with no leash at all.
if I
This
ever
is
go
gonna
to
be full
So if
blown.
I ever go to Starbucks and I have like the same barista over and over, I should use that line on them. Like, of course I want this. I love the way you make them.
Oh god.
Let me know how
Oh,
that
guess
goes.
what, everybody? We're about to see his feet.
What?
All the foot fetishists went nuts.
Oh god. Watch out, DeviantArt! We got them foots in here. Sonic's unadulterated feet.
Tarantino loved this scene.
Oh, his hands. Oh. Take his gloves off too.
Those
Oh.
feet, though.
Oh.
Well, it's time for Chris Chan to throw a shit fit.
Those furry
Wait,
hands.
did she tie up her mother?
No, I think
No.
Tika did. I think Tika did.
Yeah,
What's her name in this? Maddie.
Maddie.
yeah.
No,
So-
Rachel's the sister. Maddie's the niece.
So
Okay.
Maddie tied her up.
No,
So
I think
there is
Tika
a
did.
thing-
You said
So there-
Tika.
Yeah, that's the
Tika
actress who
did.
plays the wife.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there is a thing coming up a little later that I'm gonna have to elaborate on because it's actually one of the few criticisms I have towards this movie, and it's never explained. But I'll get to it. But I like this.
And of course they made him say "gotta go fast" because why wouldn't
Also-
they?
Why not?
Oh, hi, pretzel lady.
Tom?
Also,
Yes.
it made like with the smelling salts, it made it look like Sonic was taking cocaine.
Well, smelling salts are a drug.
Well, actually, yeah,
Yeah,
smelling
that-
salts
oh.
are pretty potent. It's used to. It's
Oh,
helped
yeah.
to wake people up like that.
Especially
right.
when you're concussed.
Okay, this is something I gotta ask. Okay, so in the musical Oklahoma,
Thank you.
oh that's right, never mind. Or like the one of the main characters goes to sleep with smelling salts.
Okay, so you know, Crazy Carl is always going.
Wait,
to
what?
the Blue Devil.
That's him.
Diablo Azul.
What are you doing here?
Kind of, sort of, shot our little blue friend with your tank gun. I didn't mean to. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, at least it was a tranquilizer gun and not a bullet gun.
Right.
That would have been a little bit darker movie.
Yeah, he did
That
the
would have taken his
humanitarian.
knee out.
Your husband's lost his
Yeah, like
She fainted at the
he-
sight of him. How are you gonna? How are you?
Oh
gonna
no, Maddie
say
is
that?
Tika Sumter's character. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
said.
here's my-
Maddie
okay.
tied her up.
All right. Here's my criticism. Where did she get these shoes?
Really?
I want
I
these
wanna
shoes.
know-
Oh,
I want to know that too.
Gift before.
I
They
want
look-
these
They
shoes.
look like
I
they look
have
like
been
Air,
searching.
they
for
look like
months.
okay, they look like Air Jordans.
No,
She
no, no,
just
no, no,
had
no.
'em.
These are Pumas. I know exactly what brand of shoes these are because they
Oh.
actually made 5 of them. There are only 5 of these made in the world, and they were
Wow.
made by a collaborator
Wow.
by the name of Shoe Surgeon. Shoe
Oh,
Surgeon
nice.
X Puma Sonic shoes exist, and I never understand. 1, how did she have those shoes upstairs? 2, they obviously don't explain it. She went to go get them on Postmates. And 3, I want those shoes. I don't even want to wear them. I just want those shoes because
This is pretty funny right
You know
here.
what? I need to.
Well, I don't see
And-
the appeal.
The dog.
Hi, puppy.
I like how
Doggy.
I like how
So,
I like his reaction to that.
Yeah.
I feel like most people wouldn't say like it's gross, you know, like
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm still just as angry to this very day. From day one since I saw this movie, I'm still angry that this they didn't sell these shoes. It's been months later, and it's like I want these shoes.
They'll
There
get
is okay. So the one thing I can appreciate about this is that there is a Sonic X Puma line, but almost everything in that line is gone except for 2 shirts, which I ended up getting, which is like the Knuckles and Shadow shirt and the Sonic and Supersonic shirt. But they don't give you the option to change the colors at all.
Okay,
So here's something that I like.
Also, real quick, it's gonna come up in about a minute, but I gotta point out a major flaw with the movie coming up in about.
but
a
how
minute.
does he? I mean, just from going up the roof, how is he able to determine that he needs a key? Like,
Oh,
No,
He's a
right
fast
here,
boy.
right here. This part right here.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have a human pancake on our hands.
So I get that you are a police officer from Montana, but aren't you also wanted by the FBI and the CIA? Why should she allow you roof access?
Yeah.
She should be turning you into
Actually, a good
Interpol.
point.
I feel like he should be like in disguise right now or something. Actually,
Yeah, that is a major flaw with this movie. He should be.
Oh yeah. Totally.
She should call the FBI or the CIA on him.
But then again,
Unless-
this is a movie with a guy who like can control drones from his fingertips, literally.
But again, I mean, Tom being a rogue cop was on the news. Surely she heard the report.
This was actually a part that I liked in the original trailer too.
But I will say this
Oh, yeah.
about what
I
you're
have
saying.
some-
But I will say this about what you're saying with the whole thing with Tom getting away with that. There's a chance that California didn't get that memo. Because you know how because it could be that he's going nationwide, but we don't know where he's going. And so there's a chance that they probably were doing most wanted in this and that state, but then not
Local.
acknowledging that he's like that high on the most wanted.
Also, here you go. The tallest building in San Francisco.
In this bag.
No,
Oh, that's right. I think I saw it in one of the Mission Impossible movies. It was Ghost Protocol.
God! Oh
Also-
God! I just realized the underwear had shits. The underwear had stains on it. It had piss stains. Jesus Christ!
Something, and here's something that I like about this. Like, it's a small thing.
Sorry, we didn't get to do it.
I really like the fact that his wife is not just totally forgotten about by the movie. I've seen so many things where they establish a wife or like a love interest, and she's just sidelined. I like that she's actually involved in the story from this point onward.
Okay,
Well,
I have. Here's another question I have. How many days has it been since they left? Since he dropped that into the ring?
Probably 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
So how do people ever come up to this roof?
No idea,
Like,
but here's my favorite shot. Here's my favorite shot in the whole movie, coming up in about 5 seconds.
I want to know how that bag was sitting there the whole time. Is what
I have a feeling probably because no
That's
one goes
my
up
favorite
to that
shot
area
right
of the
there.
Transamerica building.
That Neil to get down to his level is a sign of friendship right there.
Walking away from something you care about.
You know, looking at the model close to, the one thing I can appreciate with the redesign, those quills really do fit this from like a cinematic standpoint. They wouldn't work on the game model, but it works in the movie.
Like how,
2 days. It's been 2 days. Okay.
Like how emotive his face is.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like that in the original design.
Adorable.
Oh.
This was one of the notes that Sega had asked from Paramount. Make the character way more expressive. If you have to separate the eyes, at least make it cartoonishly expressive, because the executives at Paramount were like, are we really doing this right now? Making this character look like a fucking 1940s golden age animation character? We don't need this Felix the Cat nonsense. But that's the whole essence of what makes Sonic work from a design standpoint.
Okay. Did someone leave their Find My phone on?
Oh, I love that.
No. That was just Carrie being a master genius.
Yep.
But yeah,
Criminal
I like
genius,
how
more like.
it isn't very expressive.
Oh, wow.
Could just run down it, but okay.
Well, first we gotta
I feel like
hear what
Sonic.
Jim Carrey has to say.
Yes. And by the way, I like how they insert this.
Welcome to San Francisco, Mr.
The costume.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, he's wearing like his costume from like the games. So
well, I consider this more of like an upgrade to the movie to make it kind of unique in the same way that I think this is closer to like Sonic Boom's Eggman's design.
Yes, it is.
I haven't watched Sonic Boom.
Ooh.
You are catching fire, Thomas.
It's sort of, I want to say Sonic Boom is worth a good watch. If you're not playing the video games, it's a really funny show.
Yeah, it's a great show. I love the Sonic Boom series.
It's very self-referential. Like, even if you don't play the Sonic games, you'll die at some of the jokes because it's common stuff that people go around. It's like, oh, Sonic's so
okay. Did anyone just hear that? Did anyone hear that?
Yes. No, okay. So this is what I was talking about earlier. They established his name as Robotnik, but this is where he gets Eggman from.
No, but
and
like
as we see
I
further
get
and further.
Like I get that, but I still don't know why his name is Robotnik to begin with. Like,
That's his legal name. That's his legal last name.
No. Okay, so explaining it based off the context of the franchise, in Japan, his name was always also this shit. I love that so much.
Yeah, his name was always Robotnik.
No. His name was okay. So
he killed James Martin.
Just going real quick with this.
You bastard.
Okay, so just going real quick with this. Eggman was a Japanese name. In the West, they changed it to Robotnik because it's Robotnik and Beatnik.
Oh, that's why.
Combining those two together because he controls robots.
Now,
and they use that a lot of the Western.
I should have mentioned this. I should have mentioned this earlier when he stopped time in the bar. But okay, a few people have pointed this out, even in the original trailer. How come he's so fast that he can do this, but like in that scene where he got shot, he should have been able to dodge the dart that was shot at him. Like,
I think he got taken
probably
by
because
surprise.
it was taken by surprise and it was the heat of the moment.
Yeah, true.
In that moment,
because whenever he's in full control, whenever Sonic is in full control of the situation, it's exactly like that, except for that. But did you notice that as he got hit, he didn't get incapacitated because his ring saved him. I love this movie.
Come on, save them! They're gonna die from a fall, you asshole!
Don't worry,
Come on.
No, and
Did you hear the sound effect when he picked up the ring?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Saved, and they fall into someone's barn.
Yeah, I mean.
Inhale.
Ow.
So, did you also notice that Sonic's one ring helped him from that fall, alongside the other rings? I love that. I love the details.
It's nice.
Do you want me to call the CIA on your ass?
Well, no, just continuing with what I was saying regarding Robotnik. So, in the West, they changed it to Robotnik. Sega transitioning that in Sonic Adventure introduced the idea of the last name, the nickname being Dr. Eggman by Sonic. And eventually they kind of integrated this. So canonically, it's Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, but Dr. Eggman is what he calls himself. No, it's Ivo.
I thought it was Evo.
No, it's Ivo.
No, it's Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
Dr. Ivo!
Something else is like
scientific genius and no one.
Something I'll say is like they like that.
And now we're back on. And now we're back on the opening scene.
When he was on the roof right there for a second.
Worst driver.
When he was on the roof right there, I liked that they edited out all the terrible jokes that he was making. Like, I took 5,000 steps today, and
I'm glad they threw that joke out. That was just stupid.
You know, that was a really bad joke.
I am kind of glad they kept the meow thing in.
The meow thing was fine, but yeah,
the meow thing was. I think the thing about it is the meow thing was always being the script. It's just certain, like I said, certain elements were taken out. Certain elements were taken out.
Oh, Paris, I've
just
been there.
The trailer.
And I've been to the Eiffel Tower.
I love this scene. But the other thing that I forgot to mention. So not only is this film animated with real effects, the studio by Tim Miller that also worked on Shadow the Hedgehog. The other animation studio involved was Marza Animation, a Sega-owned CG company. And if you must know what they've done, just look at the opening of Sonic Unleashed. Hands down, it's the best.
It's an amazing opening.
Way to open a Sonic. Yeah, it's the best way to open a Sonic.
I love that opening. It's one of my favorite openings of all time.
It's so good. But another thing you should know, it's coming out on Netflix. Look out for Lupin the Third.
Nice.
That film is animated by Marza, and it's so damn beautiful. I love it. And that's a Sega-owned company. That's a Sega-owned animation studio. You should just look at all the stuff they've done. They've done a lot, and it's just Marza's great with what they do.
See, something about this scene. In the original script, they intended for Sonic to be going to different planets, but due to budgetary constraints, they switched it to just like different locations on Earth. I actually kind of like that they keep it on Earth because it kind of grounds it here. Since it's the introductory one, they can go weird later.
Yeah, they can go weird in the sequel when it's more established that this is the world we live in. And James Martin's already signed on for a couple more in case they do it.
Jim Carrey has as well, I believe, and he doesn't normally do sequels, which is why it's a big deal.
Guac.
Yeah, because the last time that Jim Carrey ever did a sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2, and it flopped.
Ace Ventura, right? I think it was Ace Ventura.
No, there was you don't remember Dumb and Dumber 2 that came?
Oh yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2. Yeah, I saw that. I really did not like that.
That was the last one that they did.
Yeah,
because he got signed on for that sequel, and it just didn't work.
Nice. I always like in movies where they're close to swearing, but they don't. Like.
Yeah.
Oh no, they almost swear twice in this. They only swear once. It was just, where the hell do you think what the hell do you think you're doing?
Like nobody has anything better to
In this scene right here, I think they do make Eggman sympathetic enough, but he's still threatening on a kid's level.
Yeah.
I have to disagree. I think this is why the character is written so well, because sympathetic as a villain, but at the end of the day, it's his actions that make him the way he is.
Like, he's a bad guy. You know, I like that he's like he's not sympathetic. Like you don't like him. No,
This
good
was
kids villain.
Yeah, this was.
Oh,
pretty
you mean
sad to
you
see.
mean the idea that Robotnik is a character that you love to hate?
Yeah, I think he's really good at
Okay,
hitting
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Delicate here, but someone should get some ice, keep the body fresh.
Why don't you
So-
shut up? Like,
What? Oh no.
And I love what Tom's about to say.
so do I. That little
So-
alien knew more about being human than you ever will.
Exactly.
Ooh, yeah.
Sonic. This was his home.
I will say this.
And he
though.
was my friend.
Coming up, right here.
Right there.
Oh!
That's all it took to reawaken him.
Like,
the word
it's-
friend.
You know what? It's cheesy, but
It works so well.
It
It works
works.
so
It
freaking
works.
Very
well.
well acted.
So,
And you could
I
see
will
this.
always
You could hear
stand-
the sadness in Tom's voice.
Yeah.
so I will always stand by this. I know a couple people online have critiqued this as being overtly cheesy, and it's like this is the way they explain him coming back. Have you not played a Sonic game? This is exactly how I imagined something
No,
as
this is
cheesy
fun.
as this. It works. It's something about it. It works. Like in
Fine.
any other movie, I would be like, oh my god, no. But then in this one, it's just if you play Sonic Heroes, you know the story. We'll show them the real superpowered team.
You just keep saying what.
Thinking about this entire time, it's just that level of cheesy epicness that just works for this. It's like
I
that's
can't
exactly-
say. I can't say enough, Stalin. Your Sonic impression sounds like Julia White,
It does. It really does.
whereas mine's. Yeah, mine sort of sounds like a hybrid between Ryan Drummond and Roger Craig Smith.
Kids,
Oh.
it's cool if you like somebody, but if someone touches you in a place in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
No good.
It's your body, and you better beat the shit out of Robotnik for me, because I'm gonna do it in a second.
Yeah, you better do it right now, Donut Lord, because I can't do it on my own.
You're dead, Robotnik.
What's the matter, Eggface? Don't have any games left to play?
Oh man.
Bing, bing.
Oh jeez, I'm going blind. I'm going fucking blind.
Let's look at Machine Gun Wild.
Bing, 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 bing.
What's the matter, Eggman? Are you a little too fried in the pan?
Oh man.
And that's what I call a spinball move. Somebody make a game out of that.
Come on, Donut Lord, let me send this asshole to another world.
Yes.
You know, I'm actually inclined to believe that he didn't get sent to another planet. He got sent to another section of Mobius.
Maybe.
Probably.
It would make sense because it's Mushroom Hill.
Maybe.
And something tells me that because Robotnik's homeworld in the first Sonic game is Scrap Brain Zone, or at least that's where he's based, I feel like he took that Mushroom World and turned it into Scrap Brain Zone.
Probably.
I love Jim Carrey's face in that. It's just,
Yeah.
he's like the perfect person for this.
I feel like that final fight's a little bit rushed, but it still works really well.
It's still
You know,
good. It
I
is.
like to think that it kind of matches the tone of the games in a way.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is
Because I feel like no boss battle should.
This
go
right
longer
here.
than-
that is Stalin in me right there when we finally reunite next year.
Yes.
You should run around and high five like that. You should actually do that.
I'm saying I'm
Yeah.
the Donut Lord to his Sonic.
You know I can't.
Yeah.
Did pretty good so far. Thanks, Donut Lord.
You're gonna have to explain this donut lord thing.
Because he fucks donuts. No, I mean he talks to them.
Oh no!
He has a weird fetish where he dresses up donuts and glasses.
Donut.
What?
Gotta go
The
fast.
man, the donut.
Put on my Fitbit.
She's still tied up.
I can at least get some stuff. We can never go.
She's probably gone numb in that chair by now.
Are we?
Gotta
Yeah.
go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta.
The
go
only
fast.
good thing to come out of Sonic X, aside from Mike Pollock.
Yeah.
Well, I still say actually, if you watch the Japanese dub, that's the better version. That's
Well, obviously, the problem is the 4Kids dub ruins everything about the English version.
Okay, so this is
ruins
like-
everything.
I really
So this
do
is
like how it
something-
took. I really do like how it took kind of him meeting Sonic to realize he doesn't need that promotion. So
Nothing to see here. We just watched a guy get shoved into another dimension, and we watched a hedgehog shock the planet.
All right.
Do you
All
have
right,
a
y'all.
chainsaw?
Okay, so anybody thinking that the next musical
A
piece
robot with a doctorate.
Oh, right here.
That's like
Okay,
a mistranslation.
A piano
for-
version of Green
here.
Hill Zone.
Yeah, I like
Oh, it
this
is.
a lot.
So the instrumental
Love
for Green
this.
Hill Zone, believe it or not, is not original to this. It's actually done by an artist that I name of John.
Now
John
this is actually, I actually really like this.
Huh.
This part right here.
I like this too, but
Mm.
the kind of reward that he gives them really pisses me off, and I'd throw it right back at him.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I like it.
I want to slug you across the face in 3, 2,
You'll see.
1. That shit right there.
Well, it's you know what's funny is because in real life that's what people give when they don't know what to give anyone else because everyone loves Olive Garden.
I'd
Okay,
give them
I'd
give them a $100,000 reward.
Well, no, this right here, I don't like.
Also, it's another product plug.
For what they did, they deserve so much better than an Olive Garden.
Yeah, they
I
deserved a
have,
$100,000 check, in my
I
opinion.
have a criticism for this. I have a genuine criticism for this. Ever since this movie came out, me and my friends have been trying to go to Olive Garden almost every other week before the quarantine.
And you can't.
I blame the Sonic movie for the fact that Olive Garden has always been packed and has never had an opportunity.
Weird thing against this movie.
Doesn't bother me. Olive Garden sucks ass anyway.
It does.
I love Olive Garden.
I'll get you. I will get you for that. I will get you for that.
Fine.
Sorry, buddy. It's a school
You
night.
ever tried to ever
School night.
Okay, excuse me. Does he even go to school? Like,
I guess he's
God.
I think he's homeschooled by the Wachowskis now.
be home?
Yeah.
we know. Hey, buddy, where are you going?
You said I have to go back.
Not that cave.
You did.
This right here is the most heartwarming part of the entire movie.
What would you honestly?
I think
expect
right
them
here
to
was
say?
where I nearly broke out in tears of happiness at the end.
I really do love this because it's like, you know what? You
This
can
is
tell
very
they
sweet.
really do love this guy.
Oh,
Look at all this.
yeah.
Oh, it's stuff that.
Oh.
They took his stuff. They made him a little hedgehog cave.
But how'd they know
Yeah.
where his cave was?
I was thinking at
Whatever.
some point they probably put 1 to 1 together.
I mean,
love
he
that
probably,
these great-
or he probably told them. I mean, there's some time passage here.
Yeah, probably that too.
Yeah, definitely. But also, like, I love that they spray painted the speed
Why
limit
was-
signs.
Why was he flossing again? Like,
Because he's the
just
fastest
what
thing
Sonic
alive.
does.
Yeah,
That's
Sonic-
what Sonic does.
So yeah, he just has a lust for life that I really enjoy.
And not only that, but you got to remember, so beyond this, Sonic has always been displayed as a product of the times. And so
Which he kind of is.
yeah, so honestly, I could imagine Sonic being a teenager around this day and age. He probably would do this. But
Yeah,
here we go, fellas. Here we go. My favorite part is coming up right now.
God.
Now, especially, this is the number one thing why I'm saying the next movie is going to be Jim Carrey Unleashed.
It's gonna be nuts. Wait.
He's shaking it.
But notice the stash now, too.
This is.
how did he grow out his mustache like that? Like,
Because he's
I
been
don't-
abandoned for so long.
Not only that, but
no,
he
wait,
has no
wait,
mushroom
wait.
brain.
Do you notice how his voice now?
Wait.
Do you notice his voice sounds more like Mike Pollock now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It surely does.
Uninhabited planet.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying earlier that this is an origin story for him as well, because it kind of shows how he became the one we know and love, you know?
Now, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and present my theory on what might potentially happen in the sequel, how he was able to get back. The man is the IQ 300. I'm pretty sure he found a way to replicate the same technology Sonic uses in his quills to find a way to fast travel.
Yeah, probably.
No, but
Well,
Either that or he turned this into Scrap
We're
Brain
not-
Zone.
we're not quite done. There's
something.
There's one more
Yeah.
scene. Yeah, there's one more scene.
One more thing. Yeah.
Although I love this credit sequence.
I do too.
Yeah, I like this credits a lot.
I appreciate this a lot.
Wait, is
Like,
there
I
a
can give
final
them credit
scene
for
near the
this.
end credits?
Yes, there
there
is.
is.
No. It's
mid-credit
before.
scene.
It's a mid-credit scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the middle
Oh,
of this.
okay. Okay.
You know what? I have to respect them for like animating this out. Like this must have taken a lot of time to do.
And Sega, please make a Sonic baseball game. I'd buy it.
I
Cool.
it too.
I thought. No, actually, no. If they do that, they probably have to do like an All-Stars game. But I know that's one of those things that if they do that, they're gonna have to seriously nerf Sonic.
Notice
And they'd also have to find a way to buff up Gilius, I guess.
Yeah, they've got the
Or
different
nerf
game
Gilius, because
styles.
Gilius is extremely strong.
It's a good thing I ate donuts today, because all the stuff involving donuts and all the rings.
And notice how Sonic's arms here are pale compared to his in-movie model.
Yeah, they basically at some point they just took the sprite work from the original games and went with that.
That's it,
which
that's
I don't
exactly what
mind.
they did,
It
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I don't mind either. And notice how Carrie actually looks more like Robotnik at the end. I'm willing to believe Sonic will do something like shave his arms in the sequel.
Probably.
Maybe.
No, I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't. Well, okay, here's the thing. I actually don't mind them keeping his arms furry like that.
I don't mind it either. I'm
Because
just
that's one
thinking
of
that's
those
what might
elements that-
happen.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
actually,
not
fun fact
Christian
about
here.
that.
We're not Christian here.
No, but fun fact about that, what I found out is that the reason why they kept his arms like that is that every time someone draws
Here we go.
Sonic,
Here we go, right here,
it's
right here.
a big Sonic fan.
This was where I fucking cheered. This
I mean,
right here.
I actually
applaud.
knew this was gonna
See?
happen ahead of time, but
I didn't.
I did
I-
that.
I
was
didn't either,
very-
but I cheered. I cheered at
YouTube
this part.
YouTube spoiled it for me.
Wait.
Wait. Hold up.
Hell yeah!
My boy.
And notice how it's actually Colleen Villard voicing Tails, not a different actress.
Now,
I'll
okay.
tell you
Here's
this now.
here's what
Okay,
I have
wait,
to
wait,
say.
wait, wait.
Remember how I said this was 10 years later? Okay, you know how I said that. So if he was, how old is Tails supposed to be?
8.
Tails was supposed to be
Yeah.
Wait,
Younger.
Tails is 8. So
Yes.
did,
Yeah, canonically Tails is 8.
So Tails wasn't even born when Sonic left.
Okay,
No.
okay.
That means he
Okay.
doesn't know Tails.
No.
my
I have an explanation for this.
Okay.
So before I bring it the explanation,
By the way, I closed it out. I closed out of the
Okay.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
by the
I'm
way.
gonna close
Okay.
mine out too.
I'm still
I'll
watching
pause
the rest of
Okay.
the credits just in case.
so
Yeah.
Go ahead.
just explaining this before I explain the actual explanation. Hold on.
Colleen O'Shaughnessy, I forgot she got married. So yeah, Colleen
Oh,
O'Shaughnessy's
wow.
her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Villard is
Before I,
her married name. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so before I bring the explanation, that scene was also in the original script. The only thing that Tyson Hess revised was partially Tails' mom. Well, actually, Tails' mom was created when Tyson Hess came on.
Yeah.
But
Really?
the only other thing that they revised was the module. It's supposed to look closer to how it does in the video game. But here's my
The
explanation
thing
for
is-
Tails.
The thing is, I was actually wondering that for a long time. I was wondering, was that Tails scene originally in the movie, and was Tails' design just as bad as the original Sonic was?
No,
I thought
probably
I
not.
When I saw it,
It
first.
was probably going to happen at some point. I think so. But
I mean,
the
yeah.
thing that I was going
No,
to get to with Tails.
So I think what happened, what might have happened was, maybe he knows who Sonic is, because maybe he was raised by what's her name? What's her,
Red Claw.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Maybe
That's what I was going to
maybe
bring
he
up.
was
As a
raised by
rich-
her. Maybe he was raised by her the same way that Sonic was, and now he's heard a lot about Sonic and he's looking for them. And so the second movie will be them meeting for the first time.
And probably
Oh,
Tails,
okay.
and it might be
Okay,
Tails
okay.
becoming roommates with Sonic at the Wachowski's house.
Well,
Okay,
and,
okay.
well, the
hear
other
me
thing
out
is, yeah,
Hear me out here.
Okay.
Longclaw never died.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very well
Because
likely she
in the
survived.
In the original cut for the script, Longclaw dies,
Yeah.
and it's not a matter of they skim through it. No, you see it, and
Wow.
it's literally the reason why Sonic is so lonely and he desires love.
That
Yeah.
would
In this
Okay.
movie, they leave her death to be ambiguous.
well,
Because when Tails comes in, it makes so much more sense that a character of his genius at that age, and Longclaw teaches him everything, including the spin dash. because Tails has the same powers that Sonic has.
Except he's more about flight rather than running.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, obviously they put in Colleen Villard there as a cameo, but obviously if Tails has like a bigger role, like a more major role in the next movie, they're gonna have to get it like a bigger name actress. So
they may get Tom Holland.
I was actually thinking,
really
you know who I was,
like Tom
you know who I
Holland.
actually, you know who I
Don't
was.
get Tom Holland. Like,
Did you say
I like
wait,
Tom Holland.
Voice is too deep. It needs to be a woman.
I
I
like Tom Holland, but
or it could just be a child actor. It could just be a boy child actor.
Here's who I was.
Yeah.
Here's who I actually had in mind. Two choices. Amy Poehler or Kristen Wiig. I feel like would be really good.
I would prefer that they just use the original voice actress right there, because that way.
Yeah. But okay, here's another thing. Here's another thing that could get easily established for the second movie. Knuckles. We know the tribe exists. And we know that canonically in the game, Knuckles is considered the last of his tribe.
The day after the movie came out, they already announced that there's talks of The Rock playing
Yeah,
Knuckles.
The Rock is more than likely going to be Knuckles.
sense.
It wouldn't shock me at all.
I feel like it's either going to be. I feel like it's either The Rock or John Cena, honestly.
Okay. I'd be fine with that. I think that either of them could be fine playing Knuckles. I mean, I would just like it, though, if they got... My only issue with that would be The Rock is such a recognizable actor, and I kind of like that they got Ben Schwartz to voice him. I mean, he's famous, but he's not, like, a huge name.
Yeah.
And so it's easier for him to disappear into the character.
And it's also easier for him to make a name for himself because of significant things like this.
Yeah.
And then also, so, like, if you get The Rock in there, I feel like you run the danger of, like, his voice is very recognizable. He's done animated work before. So I hope I would be able to, like, see the character and not just Dwayne Johnson coming out of this little creature.
That is sort of my problem when you get, like, a huge celebrity to voice certain characters like that.
Well,
like, you only see that character, or no, you only see that actor, not the character itself.
Well, if anything, I will say this much about that topic. Vin Diesel was Groot.
But they used him well. Like,
yeah, they didn't, like...
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you could get Dwayne Johnson as Knuckles, because he also did that in Moana, where you couldn't tell that was Dwayne Johnson doing the role.
Not really. I mean, for the most part, yeah. I thought that he did a really good... Moana is one of my favorite performances of his, because, yeah, I do see the character is more than him.
So I feel like if they do end up putting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Knuckles, the way they could establish that story is you could basically straight up adaptation of Sonic 3. In some respects, you can have it so that Knuckles is traveling with some of the rings because he's the last of his tribe. He's an outscouter. He's not fully aware of the situation because he's kind of a ditz.
Production number 51917.
But so he ends up finding Dr. Robotnik on the Mushroom Planet and tells him about Sonic, how Sonic is this big threat. And we bring in more to why the kid does want Sonic, because Sonic's power could be used for evil. And so now we have this dynamic with Sonic and Knuckles, but then Tails comes in. But because they established Amy in this movie, Amy could also have found out that, oh my God, there's another person like me out there. And so it'd be a polar opposite of how Sonic was this guy that constantly went all over the place, but Amy found a way to actually live within society. And literally everyone basically just describes her as like, oh, it's that weird girl with the pink hair.
But yeah, actually, I was kind of spoiled for that tail scene because, like, for some reason, when I was on YouTube one day before I went to see the movie, it had that scene in like recommended videos. I'm
guessing somebody filmed it from within the theater.
Yeah, I didn't watch the scene at that time. I just saw it was there, so I wasn't really too spoiled for the tail scene. Yeah, but
you see, stuff like that is why I'm glad I saw it on premiere night, because I was trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that was actually uploaded a few days before the premiere. I think someone might have filmed it at the red carpet premiere of the movie.
Well, maybe not even that. Maybe somebody managed to pirate the movie using the internet and take it for their own means. That might have been what happened, because piracy with film happens before it even makes the red carpet.
You know what, though? That actually does remind me of something. I guess if we're still on the stream,
Yeah,
this was one of the last movies I saw before the quarantine strike.
This was
Okay,
the very
you know,
last one. This was my very last one.
I was actually gonna say what's actually interesting is they already delayed this movie by a few months to redesign Sonic. Imagine if this movie had come out when they were closing the theaters, they would have had to probably delay this movie again, or
it was the last major release. But I will say this much,
or they would have sent it to home release. Like what?
Well, I will say this much though. The last 3 movies I saw was the Sonic movie, Birds of Prey, and Onward.
Onward was the last thing I saw, and Onward I liked Onward a lot.
I actually got to see it and see the preview screening. They had a special screening a week before it came out.
On Leap Day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a special screening they had. So we actually got a free pin because of it. And I gotta say, I love Onward. I think Onward's great. The Sonic movie's good. Birds of Prey's good. I feel like this was like the last major picture to drop before the quarantine, and that's why the Oscars want to give it Best Picture.
I'll say if this gets nominated for anything, it might be the visuals. I mean, we didn't talk about much during the thing, but like I think that the CG in here, like it is cartoonish looking. They integrate it well into the shots and everything, and the way
it works really well.
James Marsden is really, 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 really good at interacting off of all this stuff as
and you know what the cool thing is James Marsden's performance makes you believe that even though it's just a model, it makes you believe that Sonic is actually there.
Yeah,
totally. Exactly. But and that's the telling of a good director and a good team on board. Because there are a lot of movies that are out there where even if the model is real and you could see it, like someone in a costume, the actor often doesn't believe that character is really there.
That's what Alvin and the Chipmunks' problem is. Like Alvin and the Chipmunks, you see Jason Lee interacting off of probably a tennis ball. That he's interacting with the CG models.
Same goes with Garfield.
Like the models look fine. You do not believe that Jason Lee believes that they're there.
Right.
Yeah, the same thing with Garfield too.
Garfield's just a wad of air.
Yeah.
Garfield is aged poorly, but yeah, I think James Marsden, as bad as a movie I think Hop is, I think that did kind of give him some experience working with CG models like that, and Enchanted with the squirrel. So he was a really good fit for being like an average guy. He can he sells you on this blue alien hedgehog thing that is sitting right there.
Yeah.
So what if I were to tell you that originally they were trying to get Chris Pratt for this?
And Chris Evans,
I would believe you. I would believe you.
I actually saw a poster that was released before the original trailer came out where they had Chris Pratt and a terrible looking Sonic.
Yeah, they were trying to they were actually trying to get Chris Pratt originally. I think there's a couple people they were
Chris Evans was another one they were considering getting.
I think it was just everyone in general from the Marvel side of things that isn't Thor or Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean, and it would have bothered me because I like about James Marsden. This is like, I think James Marsden is really good. He looks like an average guy.
Yeah, he does.
His character is kind of written, and so he's easier to relate to. And it's easier to see him disappear into the character.
I mean, unlike Enchanted, where he's a freaking prince.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
The
village idiot who happens to be the heir to the throne.
He's really good in that movie too, but this is a completely different role. This is a totally different kind of character for him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'd say, sorry, go ahead.
This and Enchanted are my two favorite roles of his because they're two completely different styles of comedy. He's really good at both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Should we get into the rating?
Before we do, I just want to give a really brief summary since I have been kind of meaning to do that. So before we get into ratings, I gotta say that I had the utmost skepticism, like most people did, coming into this film. And there's one guy, well, there are actually a few people I met at the premiere on Thursday, the 13th of February. And I'm still saying that because I just want to make it clear. So when I went to that premiere screening, and it was at a Cinemark, believe it or not, I ran to one guy there, and we were just watching those stupid little adverts about, get this app on your phone. You can play interactive games with the movie screen.
Yeah.
And then we see these pair of two guys come in, and one of them has his girlfriend with him, so they sit down in front of us. We're talking about just the history of Sonic for about, I think, 45 minutes to an hour before the movie starts, because I showed up extremely early. I was the first person in the theater. But it was really funny. They mentioned to me, if the movie's good, then good. If it's bad, then it'll be amazing. And I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah,
and not
what I thought was right.
Yeah,
and not only that, but just before I get to Nigel, the other thing that was funny about it, I told them I got my ticket for this movie because of a Fandango gift certificate that my college roommate gave me 3 Christmases ago. So I've decided, if the movie's good, hey, man, thanks for the gift. If it's bad, at least your money was wasted and not mine.
And that gift card came from Bloody.
Yeah, good old Bloody boy.
If any, I mean, if you're gonna use that on any movie, I'm glad it was this one. Honestly.
Yeah, so I'm glad I waited 3 years until I actually found a movie I was committed to, and because the movie was actually good, thank you for the gift. It was not. It was not your money wasted after all.
Yeah.
And I should also. I should also just close this thought with one last point. Before every public service and theater and all these other places we love to go was unfortunately shut down because of the COVID-19 coronavirus. This was
still shut down currently.
Well, I mean, it's still going on at this time. I'm just saying we're eventually going to get back there. So
things are in my state. Things are slowly starting to reopen. It's still not great, but like it's still recommended you don't go to a lot of these places, but they are starting to reopen. So
that is true. But I was also going to say, just to say that before I disclose anything more, I just want to say that remember that we'll eventually get to go back to restaurants, movie theaters, stadiums, and all these places we love. We just need to be patient.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I am very, very thankful that this was my last movie theater memory before theaters shut down temporarily. I want to disclose that temporarily.
Yeah.
I have to say that the one thing I really appreciate about this film, coming from a fan standpoint, like someone that's been a fan for almost his entire life of this franchise.
Same.
When I was a kid up until now, I'll give it that it doesn't try to pander to the fans.
No, it does not, and I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of the movie's crew for that. I'm very proud of them.
I do have legitimate criticisms, but it's only because the cliches in this have been done before. But
it is
being fair. Being fair. I think this is the best. This is the best way these cliches have been done.
Yes,
it's in a way that it feels natural. It's kind of like if you watch How to Train Your Dragon or Lilo and Stitch.
Exactly.
Those present very similar cliches that are done in a lot of movies, but they're done so fresh and differently that you never notice it. You never notice that this is the exact same way a lot of movies end, where it's like, oh, somebody is pretending to die. Someone you think is going to be dead, but is going to come back and all that. It's like, this is sort of like there's a legitimacy, and I can really appreciate that. Also, hands down, you could replace a couple actors in this, but I feel like there are very few movies that actually have a perfect casting. I feel like Wreck-It Ralph's got incredible casting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
this movie's got incredible casting to it.
I think James Marsden was my favorite actor in the whole movie. I could relate to him on so many levels. Where I always feel like I'm not doing enough. Where I feel like I still need to get that extra promotion to show that I'm good enough for my job. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Hands down, I feel like that has to go to Jim Carrey for me.
And in terms of how I saw this movie, once again, this is Stalin and me if we were on a friendly road trip, because I mean, he and I are both like Sonic in our own ways, but I am definitely the Tom Wachowski in this situation, because although I can be a hothead like Sonic sometime with a big heart, I'm much more like Tom because I'm always the one between the two of us who's trying to play it straight.
Mm-hmm.
And it took someone like Stalin to get me to realize loosen up and just enjoy yourself for a while.
Yeah.
On that note, this is going to be very interesting how they pull the sequel. Because how are they going to pull the sequel off? I don't mean that in like a way of like, oh, the sequel is going to be bad. No, I mean that in a way of like, how are they actually going to pull off the sequel?
I'm not sure.
With James Marsden in it. James Marsden, there's going to be a point where he can no longer play the straight man.
Well, here's the thing, though. They're also not going to be able to start filming this sequel until after everything is cleared up. So,
Right.
Yeah,
which I think is a
we'll be
good
waiting
thing.
a
I think
while.
that's actually a good thing. I'm fine with waiting for that.
That way, and
was
that
actually
way,
out today. The sequel's announced last night. It's officially happening. We just don't know when yet.
right?
And
but,
I can
like,
wait. I
this
can
is-
totally wait.
Yeah, but this will give us
same.
enough. This will give everyone enough time to like develop the next movie and to like make it better than before.
Like, develop the script, give it a make it fun.
Yeah.
And I'll wait. I'll wait my turn. But like, I think something this movie nails really well is that it is just fun.
Yeah,
yes.
it is a fun
That's-
movie, definitely.
Honestly, that's all I would have ever asked out of this, is that even if it's a poorly written film, as long as it's fun, because the first Ninja Turtles movie, yes, it's bad. It has fun. It has a lot of fundamental issues, but the one thing I'll always remember from it was stupid fun action, and I was having fun every second of the way.
Yeah,
The sequel, I have to say, the sequel is nothing to really shout at home because they were like too much fart jokes, but I thought it was still
the
fun.
sequel is worse. I assure you.
Oh yeah.
This is not only a competently written movie, it's also, at the end of the day, it's just fun. It's just high octane action. Don't have to really think about it.
Yeah.
This isn't like a DC movie where they have to bring in religion and piss jars as explosives and talk about the mortality of gods and all that. When all I wanted out of a DC film was just a fun, good time with these superheroes and actual stakes being put on the line. Whereas Marvel does that perfectly. Like,
Marvel's really good at that.
I
Yeah,
may not be
definitely.
that. I may not have been that big a Marvel fan, but I will say that Avengers Endgame, as someone that has never really been, I've been more of a DC fan versus Marvel. But I saw that opening night, and hands down, I cried. It was like 10 years they waited on this, and it was like, oh my god, it's amazing. I feel that same way about the Sonic movie.
But yeah,
It took
like
them a good 28 years.
That's what I was saying.
They were
That's
able
what I
to
was
come up
saying.
with something that was
That's
just
what
the
I
right
was-
amount of good.
That's what I meant. That's what I was saying about they allowed the franchise to age, unlike what they did with Mario. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, where Mario, okay, undeniably the Mario games are still good around that time. It's just that they didn't have enough time to establish the
for their
world of
time.
Mario.
for
Exactly.
their time, yes.
Yeah, and before we get to ratings, I just want to say, once again, to Sonic Chaos and to Pre-Stolnik, thank you guys for reminding me just how much Sonic means to me, and this movie is another strong reminder of that.
That was tight.
I gotta say, I'm proud to be a Sonic fan, and you want me to talk like Sonic in that case? That was tight!
Tubular, dude.
Yeah. Okay, enough about that. Let's
Radical.
Knuckles, could you shut the fuck up and we get to ratings, please?
No.
Let's have Stalin go first since he's the Sonic nut.
Yeah, totally.
So let me post the score table real quick.
It's been a hot minute since I've been in here.
Oh yeah, that just reminded me. We actually came up with a name for our rating system. It's called the Movie Purity Scale.
Where are you gonna enter the
under movies? It's gonna go under the
Okay.
movies section.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay,
going
going
to right now.
Okay, I'm in there now. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, wait, why is this bro from Dogma in the chat?
Wait, what?
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 What are you talking about?
Wolf, Link 120.
Oh no! Don't read those. Don't read those, please.
Okay, never mind.
They're spam.
okay.
They're spam.
Okay, I see it.
Mind.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, Stalin, you go first.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. All right.
Mhm.
So normally as a Sonic fan, I would probably go for like the high-end degree of Crystal, but I actually have something. I have my problems with this movie. First of all, I think it is competently written, albeit it does have cliches that are representing a lot of movies, so it's not as original as it should be. But I can appreciate the characters they have in it. This is a very well-written film. And the casting choices, I think, are just I would not picture Eggman or Sonic or Tom in any other light. I think those are the perfect that's the perfect casting choice. Everyone else, it's kind of hard to say, but they do the role pretty well.
Yeah.
I think visually, it's a live action film. I think it's just, the camera work is fine. I actually appreciate the spectacle attached to it. And plus, if it wasn't for that redesign, Sonic would look butt ugly, but Sonic just looks, there's a different take to it, especially those Puma shoes. I want those goddamn Puma shoes. But in that regard, there are certain things that definitely do take me back a little bit from giving it a crystal, but I want to say it's without a doubt, it's without a doubt a diamond.
Okay.
All right.
Like, I think that this is a really well done film. I feel like if I were to rate a certain other movie that rating, I won't say which one, but I think they're both on the same route. Like that, and the fact that before I end this, I'll give the Sonic movie one thing. It is the highest grossing video game movie adaptation.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Wow.
it is.
And I think it is well deserved.
Yes.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu took that rank. Huh?
It's also the highest ranking as well.
That's true. Yeah, highest grossing movie of 2020. Take that.
Frozen 2.
Oh God, no! I was about to say, take that, Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life.
Okay.
Okay, so next
rating.
Okay, so now let's go to Nigel, since he was completely blind to this movie coming in tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I am obviously, like, I'm the least familiar with this franchise out of all of us.
No,
Like,
I probably am, actually.
Yeah, me and Bloody are pretty close. So, as far as, the rating is concerned, like, it is very memorable. Like I can't, like, it's like the images in it, like even if it is cliched and all that, like Stalin previously said, like you still get like the spirit of the Sonic character in this movie, and you also get like a perfectly suitable role for Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, and just like I mean, he doesn't go overboard with his antics either. Like, you can actually see Robotnik as Jim Carrey. So, like, I mean, even though you like, it's hard to like. I mean, it's hard to like not notice it's Jim Carrey, but still, like, I still feel like he's still playing a character here.
Yes.
I also
can
like
definitely see that.
James Marsden was definitely interacts great with Sonic, aka Ben Schwartz. And like, as far as I know, like, it's at least somewhat consistent with how the games are. Like, at least like it's like you're well aware that it is the same world, but it's like it's on
Motion
our
detected
world.
at the front door.
And that motion was from Sonic.
Yes. I guess he wanted to give us a shout out real quick, but anyway. So, yeah, but you know what? Like, I think it is memorable enough to say, like, I will, like, at first I thought I was going to give it a more average rating, like silver or gold. But you know what? I'm going to go platinum for this one.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Oh, that is surprising.
I'm actually quite surprised indeed.
I'm shocked, actually.
I think as time goes by, I think this will be considered a minor classic in some ways.
I think it will be, yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. Which is why I give it a platinum.
Okay, so next we'll go to Blood McBoy.
Alrighty. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was even though even though I was reluctant to see it after seeing the redesign, I think it was and they had to delay it. I think it was well worth the wait. It's a very enjoyable movie. It's like they said, it's cliched at times, but I think the cliches work in this case. James, like you guys said, James Marsden works really well with Sonic. I think Ben Schwartz is a really good actor to have for Sonic. Kind of the way we see him as an origin story. It's not like I feel like Roger Craig Smith works better in the games right now because we can see Sonic when he's gotten a lot tougher and stuff. But for an origin story, I feel like Ben Schwartz works. And I also like I said before, I also like that it's kind of serves as an origin story for Dr. Robotnik. Kind of see because like with Jim Carrey, you got to kind of just see how kind of goofy he was. You got to see Jim Carrey really being Jim Carrey a lot throughout this movie, and then toward the end, you got to see him turn more into the Dr. Robotnik we know and love, and that's actually something I'm a little bit not looking forward to the next movie. I feel like we're gonna get more Robotnik and less Jim Carrey now. So, but
true,
yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I love the themes of friendship. Really just what it means to be loyal to your friends. I love like Gray said, I love the line of you can be like he knew more about being human than you ever will, because it's true. I mean, being human isn't always about actually being human. It's about how you act. It's about how you treat the people around you.
Exactly.
Without a doubt.
And I really like that about the movie. I love the animation. I love the references to the games. I love how you can. I love just the positivity that the movie just gives off. I love how you can find yourself laughing, enjoying yourself, even if you're not a big fan of the movie. I actually
the game, you mean?
of the series. I'm sorry. I was a fan of the movie. Just making that clear.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, and like I said, I think they set things up really well for a potential couple more movies. So I am actually going to go. I'm actually going to go the same as Nigel. I'm going to give it a platinum.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Noticing a pattern here.
Okay.
Next to Cinemaster.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So I went into this probably even more skeptical than you did, Cronus, because like you had your expectations with the character, and you have your history with him. I went into it as just like, look, I literally just want to see a fun movie. I know the video game movies, outside of like maybe 2 or 3 examples, usually suck really bad.
And that was the thing for me. It wasn't just because of the character. It was also because I wasn't expecting any kind of witty writing at all.
Oh,
no.
And the thing about this is, this movie is made by people who you can tell that they really love this character. They also knew exactly how to adapt and change him, make him more palatable for people that don't. That for me was what really kind of got me in. Hold on. Hello.
What?
Wait.
On. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my family. But yeah, the thing is, the fact that they were able to make it palatable, for general audiences was what impressed me the most. I think this is James Marsden's his best leading performance, like where he's like the first world guy. Jim Carrey is great. I think he is restrained a bit, but it is done in a way where he still exudes energy without getting too goofy or too over the top. And that dancing sequence is awesome because it's the one moment where he does just go crazy, and then he snaps right back into the character. Like it just happens.
All because of a couple of fucking lattes.
No, that's what I said. I like the fact that like he says these lines that aren't even funny, but they just make them funny. Like,
yeah, did the exact same joke, but I think I laughed at this one more than that one. But no, Jim Carrey. I think that he is really good at being. He's a really good funny villain. I think like maybe to like a small child, like a 6-year-old, he would be threatening, which is good. Just not like terrifying, but just like threatening enough like he is a bad guy. I also like the fact that even though Sonic is a jokester, he is very laid back. I like that both he and the movie take the threat of Robotnik seriously, and that Robotnik is actually competent rather than an idiot, which is what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Competent dude is just having trouble because Sonic is so fast.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner.
Yeah, like
totally.
It's a cat and mouse thing, and that's what the spirit of it is. And as a minor thing, I really appreciate the fact that they do not just write Tom's wife out of the movie. I really liked it that she became involved in the adventure about halfway through instead of just being like, "Oh, I'm your wife. I'm gonna sit over here and not do anything."
I feel like they would have gotten. I mean, Tika Sumpter's a fairly big name. I feel like they would have gotten. They would have gotten a less famous actress. I feel like to play her.
Yeah,
I think Tika Sumpter. Tika Sumpter, I think, is fine. I haven't seen her anything where I thought she was amazing, but yeah, she's good at. I think she's very good in here. Yeah. My rating for this, kind of have 2 ratings for it. As a video, like as a movie, just by itself, like not based on anything else. Movie by itself, I think that it is. I'm gonna give it a silver. I think it's good, just because again the story is kind of cliched and the themes are familiar, but it is on the good side as a video game film. In terms of adapting the material from one medium to another, I'm going to give it a diamond.
So what's your ultimate rating then?
Well, yeah, I'm doing it a diamond on the basis of adapting a video game into a film and making certain gaming elements work within the story of a film rather than feeling like fan service or pushed in.
So if you were to choose between,
I'm rating it as a video game, as a film based on a video game. Yes, I think this is currently the best video game movie that has been made now.
Yeah, well agreed. Well said.
Yeah.
So it all comes back to me.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, this one's gonna be tough. I want to win this fucking obligatory riff. But anyway, so as we know, I talked about my history with Sonic the Hedgehog during the pre-discussion phase of this stream, and I think the biggest thing I took away from this film isn't necessarily to not judge a movie by it or a book by its cover. In this case, it's a film, but I'm still going to stand by the notion that sometimes you can, and I think originally people had a good reason to be skeptical for numerous reasons, not just by design, but just by the scripted shots that were shown in the trailer weren't that funny, and it made me think, were the post-production guys just choosing their favorite gags instead of choosing anything that was significantly funny? I thought to myself, well, are you guys trying to make this movie not seem like it's going to be any good? But at the end of the day, I'm glad I saw it because I got to meet a couple of Sonic fans in person, which, once again, that gave me a whole new view on just being part of the... I don't want to say the fandom because I try to stay out of fandoms, but just being a fan of Sonic himself, because it made me realize, yeah, I can just love Sonic for Sonic, and this whole movie, as I said, it summarizes Stalin and me on so many levels. I mean, he's the guy who wants to run fast and free. I'm always the uptight guy who feels like he has to do more than what he's actually doing. And so that's why I keep saying he is the Sonic to my Tom Wachowski. So it was relatable on many levels. And again, I love the line where James Marsden points out to Robotnik that he knew more about being human than you ever will, because yeah, being human doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you're a human and therefore you act like one. Sometimes it just means you know the logistics of being socially ethical.
Yeah.
And just being kind to those who are kind to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the number one takeaway I took away from this movie more than anything else was that it's fine to be yourself. As cliche as that sounds for how many cliches are in this movie, that's what I took away from this, is that it's totally fine to be yourself, and there's no reason to hold shame over your head because of it.
Yeah, this movie was fine being itself, absolutely.
And something that I will add to that, and sorry to interrupt you, Chris, like something that I'll add to that. Yes, I agree with you. Like all of those messages are definitely there, and as cliched as they are, like I have seen before, really like the fact that it doesn't. Movie never stops to hammer those messages in. They're just kind of floating around in there. You either notice, and if you're a kid, it's like you might notice and you might not. As an adult, I think because they don't force them in so much, I think that they will resonate more. They're not as like obviously this is what the movie is thematically about. There.
Yeah, and based on everything I said, based on how I was able to personally relate to Sonic's, I mean, I can still relate to Sonic's loneliness now because, like I said, I live alone, and this quarantine has made me go lone wolf for a quarter of a year now. And only last weekend was I finally able to connect with my mother again personally.
Yeah.
So based on a lot of that stuff, I knew all about what it's like to be locked up and on your own for so long because you can't go anywhere or feel like you're putting someone else in danger. And I also knew what it was like to always feel like you could do more, and sometimes you're doing just enough and you don't need to push yourself so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But all that said, this movie gets a platinum for me. I originally gave it. I don't use star systems or out of 10s just because I think those ratings are so flawed. But when I rated this on Fandango's website, I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, which in other words, in my old scale would have been a 7 out of 10, which I think is fair. So even though we have an above average category, which means platinum is the lowest of that category, but still really good, I think platinum is a very fair rating to give this movie. It exceeded my expectations, and more importantly, it exceeded my expectations, and it was one of those films that made me think that sometimes all it takes is a little extra polishing to make something turn out nicely.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yes. Like it's funny that you mentioned the themes of this movie because, like, in one of our other riffs, Face Off, like I didn't think I was gonna get the themes of loss and grief that I did with that movie.
Oh god, Face Off.
I'm still trying to get that movie out of my head.
Hallelujah!
Oh
my god.
Well, before we close off the stream, I have to reveal that we came out with an average of platinum, but we have a 3-way tie, so we need Stalin and the Cinemaster, Kevin the Critic, to determine who is a winner of a 3-way tie-breaking situation.
Oh, wow.
Since I was the first person to confirm I was doing this movie, which I kind of have to be because I'm the one who runs this, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So you have 30 seconds to start your argument, and I have it on my phone, so I'll start with my argument right now. In 3, 2, 1. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie, while being far from anything that I think is worthy of being called perfect, is a very, very good movie that I think anybody can get into, especially if they have a family with kids. It teaches a lot about the values of friendship, the values of being yourself, the values of not resorting to revenge just because you were abused, because obviously that's what Robotnik illustrated. And most importantly of all, it goes to show that with enough time and care and patience, you can create a solid product. And my 30 seconds are up. So next up is Nigel.
Okay.
You guys, Stalin, you and Kevin will determine your winners after all three of us have made our arguments. So Nigel, are you ready?
Not just yet. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
I just need to think a little bit about this. How I want to approach this.
And mind you, this is an obligatory riff, so even if you win, it's not a choice of film. It's just
I'm well aware. Yes.
Just making that clear. That's all.
Yeah.
But it still counts towards your overall record, so that will be added to the scoreboard once this is over.
Yeah, it surely will.
So either Nigel or I will get another win, or Bloody will get his very first win tonight.
Well, I haven't been to enough of these. That's
well, you've been to more than Stalin. This is only Stalin's second riff.
The first one I was in was Wreck-It Ralph,
and that was our debut. That was our debut with this series.
I did Wreck-It Ralph, Face Off, Naked Gun in this one. So
I feel like we're gonna bring Stalin back only for video game movies.
No, he wants to do more. He says he wants to do more.
I know. I was just joking around.
Yeah.
Oh God, Pablo!
Stalin
Go
said
get him, Pablo, kill that fly, baby.
But Stalin's won before. Stalin's won before, though.
No, he hasn't
No.
won.
Oh, okay.
Because the winner of Wreck-It
Pablo,
Ralph
no
was
mercy.
the winner of Wreck-It Ralph was Kevin.
Yeah.
Pablo, did you honest to God just eat that fly?
Oh dear Lord. Okay.
Are you ready now, Nigel?
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You got a
30 seconds starting now.
Okay, so as far as most video game adaptations are concerned, this is a lot of fun to watch. And not only that, it actually does present some very core values that do relate to the Sonic fan base about friendship, about all the human elements that come into our lives, and just the way that Sonic and Marsden have their friendship and all that. Like, there are some tests to that, but also just it's such a fun thing to see. Like, and
Time.
it's just.
Okay, now it's bloody. Are you ready for your 30 seconds? Bloody.
Sure.
Okay, so
Hit
30 seconds starting now.
This movie, it's such a great video game adaptation. It really gets you connected to the themes of Sonic, the characters, even if you're not a big Sonic fan. It's so funny. It's just so enjoyable on every level with the themes and everything. It's truly amazing. It'll have you smiling through almost every single minute of it. It'll have you laughing. It doesn't matter what age you are. You'll probably enjoy this movie. Okay.
I'll let you include that part though, because you finished your thought.
It was right at the end. Right at the end. There.
Yeah.
So, pre-Stalnick, based upon the 3 arguments you heard, between Nigel, Bloody, and me, who do you think your winner is tonight?
Oh goodness, it's gonna be a tough one.
Because remember, it's up to you and Kevin to choose the winner.
Yes.
Don't make me choose. You all honestly have pretty good thoughts in terms of the movie. God damn it, I can't make it a tie.
It's okay if it is a tie, though. It is okay if it is a tie, since this is obligatory.
I'm really about to go eat. I'm sorry, but they're all, in my opinion, they're all pretty valid arguments to the movie. And I feel like.
But which one do you heavily favor more?
I have to. All 3.
What?
You can't choose all 3. That's against. You broke the rule.
Choose one. I'm sorry, but that's the rules.
I know. I would probably have to go with Bloody.
Oh,
wow.
Wait, what?
So that's 1 to Bloody. And why do you say that, Stalin?
Wow. That's awesome.
What? And before we get to Kevin, why do you say that?
Well, again, like I said, I feel like all three thoughts on the movie are pretty valid. I do agree more with Bloody only because I do think that it really does put a smile on my face. But that's just the bias coming from a Sonic fan.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
So I will attribute it purely to bias alone.
Okay.
This is why I don't run contests, because I'm gonna be like, you're all winners in my eyes.
Okay, well now it's up to Kevin. Will Bloody get another vote?
My business so quickly.
Will Bloody get another vote, or will it be a 2-way tie?
Actually, I think I'm gonna have to go with Gray's argument. Actually.
Oh wow.
We have a 2-way tie. Bloody and I win this riff.
Yeah, and the reasoning behind that is I think all 3 arguments are pretty good. I appreciate that. I appreciate with Kronos, like that you really paid attention to like what appreciate that you really connected to the themes, the themes and the character and everything, but you were able to examine it very objectively, not let your love of the character like overtake the thing.
Certainly not.
Right.
Yeah.
That is unfortunately my weakness when it comes to like these. I tend to be a
But-
bit more biased.
I know there are
Like-
certain properties where I'm super biased too.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
But
Same.
that's why I gave it a diamond in because I feel like I couldn't give it a crystal because I don't think it's a perfect film, but I definitely do feel like this is worthy of a diamond more than anything.
But as I always say, I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect movie.
Absolutely not.
Oh no, absolutely.
That's why we include Crystal as one of our ratings, because even crystals have imperfections and scratches on them.
Yeah,
and I also agree that like I don't think from a scripting level, like maybe other than maybe one or two little things here and there, but like on a storyline level, I don't think you could have made this script any better than it is. I mean, it's not perfect, but like for what you have to work with, adapt this video game character into a movie that is palatable for modern audiences, still make fans happy. I think they did a bang up job of that.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the official result of tonight's obligatory riff, even though neither of us get to choose a movie, because our next movie is going to be Role Models, because that was a four-way choice between Jerry, Nigel, Kevin, and me.
That's gonna be another fun one, I'm sure.
Bloody and I both get wins, and more importantly, Bloody, you have your official first win of this series.
You broke your cherry.
Ew.
I feel like, oh Jesus! I feel like the only music that fits this celebration has to be.
Oh no!
Oh Jesus! What now?
What is this?
Let me find it.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh dear Lord!
No, it's okay. It's nothing that bad. I feel like this is the only music that fits with the situation. If it would, oh Jesus Christ, it's been on mute.
Oh my God, he didn't mess with me for once?
Amazing.
Boy.
Wow.
What was that?
Yeah, what
the hell was that?
What song is that?
That was the Sonic Colors boss player.
Oh, the Sonic Colors music, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is something I'd love to stream someday if it gets poured to Steam, or I might just break out my Wii to do that.
I honestly would love for them to port Sonic Colors to HD, like just not even a remastered, literally an HD port, but just slightly retextualized.
Maybe for like
that
maybe
Lost
for like
World.
Maybe for like the Switch.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would love to see that.
Hey, see, that's what I get.
I would love to see. The thing is, I would actually love to see Sonic Colors ported to all consoles. Break that exclusivity.
I think they do they could do an HD remake of it or something. That's what they do with most of it. That's what they do with most things when they do it. It's like a remaster.
Well, I mean, it's recent enough that it looks good on its own, like graphically. I think
it's only 10 years old.
It's not like what they did with. It's not like what they did where they remastered. What's it called? Spyro, where they kind of like had to kind of remaster completely almost.
You mean a rehaul, like an entire? It's the same game, but they literally just HD'd it up.
Yeah. And same with Crash Bandicoot.
And yeah, which I think those are pretty good games in their own right. I would love to see how they're gonna pull off that Mario movie.
I'm scared.
Just comes into the room and Mario.
Yeah, honestly,
accepted at the front door.
Sonic, why do you keep coming back?
Why do you keep ding dong ditching Stalin?
Oh no. But yeah, pretty much pretty much Mario just comes into the room and the design looks exactly like something straight out of a Disney film, and it's like, that's not my Mario. It's like, yeah, hey Mario, I'm Mario. Let's go, let's do some stuff. Luigi, get over here.
Now that you mentioned the Mario, the upcoming Mario movie, or soon to be Mario movie, this Sonic movie in particular would be a tough act to follow.
It will.
Yeah, not a doubt. There is another good video game movie that I feel like should be the focus of a Rift track. Something that I'm familiar with, but
Doom.
Oh dear Lord, what is this?
Please don't say Street Fighter the movie, because I actually own that piece of shit on DVD.
Silent Hill.
He's typing it? Oh no.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Is he typing it?
It's a link, I bet.
I'm afraid.
Oh God.
I'm afraid.
Shut up! Kombat!
Oh, fuck you.
No.
Hear me
no.
out. Hear me out. Hear me out. This film is not only the best adaptation of any Mortal Kombat property, it is also animated by the same people behind Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Really?
And it doesn't hold back on the R rating.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mortal Kombat Annihilation at first. I was gonna say that.
Oh
movie
no.
sucks.
This is a completely different beast. This is if they brought the source material and did it so phenomenally well. This is basically the Sonic movie, but for Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
And it's such a grotesquely beautiful film.
I mean, I love grotesquely beautiful films. I mean, I'm a Tim Burton stan, so grotesquely beautiful is kind of in my bag. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do with that if we ever do. Fred.
Motion detected at the front door.
Sonic.
Jesus.
Oh
Sonic.
my god.
Sonic can't stay away from.
No, that's not Sonic. That's Alexa.
Sorry, but I thought I had to get donuts here for Donut Lord. Sonic, you're in fucking Montana. Why do you keep writing down to Los Angeles?
We meant like Sonic is the motion and by your door. That's what we mean.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we mean.
Susanna, don't you cry for me.
I thought this was where I had to get donuts for the Donut Lord. Hooba Dooba.
Dooba, Susanna.
You might want to stop eating the donuts because you want to be a cop.
Oh, that's a cop out.
Oh my god, man.
Oh, wow.
But I guess we have pretty much touched upon everything for this riff track.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, our ultimate consensus is this is a good movie. I'd recommend you watch it at least once. And Bloody, congratulations on getting your first win, even if it was a tie with me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm happy either way.
Yeah.
So our next riff track, which will not be obligatory, it was a choice that was done between 4 of us, will be Role Models, and that will probably be sometime next month.
Yeah.
Is Role Models the
Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott, Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott work for an energy drink company, and then they sabotage a high school, and they have to mentor 2 teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's a comedy movie.
Yeah, it's a big time comedy, and it's the first movie that I saw Jane Lynch in, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, I saw her in that too. Yeah.
It's an interesting.
Actually,
it's a hilarious movie. I love it.
I first saw, but I gotta say though, I first saw Jane Lynch in The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I think I first saw her on Glee.
So did I.
I think my first actual exposure to her was Wreck-It Ralph.
Obviously.
Like I think, I was familiar with the role on Glee, but I didn't see it or anything, but I knew she was there. But then I watched The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I'm like, it's that Glee coach.
Yes. The one who judges all the students.
Yes.
I think that she was. I think at the end of the day, she was the only thing on Glee that stayed good its entire run.
I think the only thing that stayed good on Glee was the fact that they moved on to Story.
That they moved on to what?
American Horror Story.
Oh
yeah, the same guys did it.
Yeah, and they also did another show by the name of 911. It's pretty good.
They do 911. No, I watched 911 too. It's pretty good.
The Scream Queens TV show.
They did Scream Queens. They actually are doing some shows for Netflix now. They did
Nip Tuck, I believe.
They did Nip Tuck before Glee.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So once again, see the Sonic movie if you haven't. Give it a shot. It's fun.
It's not for everybody, but I'd recommend at least trying to watch it once.
Just try.
I would say if anything, based off how many people have actually seen it and have told me about it, knowing that I'm like the token Sonic fan in every school I go to. I flocked it out there like a peacock, fellas. I'm just every day I'm going out there with my shirt. It's like a Sonic shirt, an actual Sonic Works shirt, and I'm going down there. That's a Sonic shirt. I know what that is. The one time I was able to go back to work during this quarantine, everybody was telling me, we got the Sonic movie with my kids. Man, it was so funny. I loved it. It's like, it always puts a smile on my face knowing that these movies, knowing that the movie got the recognition it did, because it's a really good product, without a doubt.
And you know what, Stalin? Next year's TMG, I'm not going to make you the token Sonic. You and I are both going to wear Sonic gear one of those days of that weekend.
Hey, look, during one TMG, can I be Jim Carrey's version of Robotnik?
As long as you have the flight suit and the goggles.
I will
Actually, no. I've got it.
We need to do what I said earlier. If you do that, we need to go to a coffee shop so that you can tell the barista that you love the way they make it.
And not only that, but I just thought of something. Mystery Grill is Pretzel Lady. I'm Donut Lord. Stalin is Sonic. End of story.
Gotta go fast. No, well, I mean, I gotta get fit first.
Oh yeah.
I'm Robotnik, but
hey,
if I do that dancing thing,
what the hell are me and Bloody then?
You want to talk shit, Eggface? How about you get fit, you fat ass?
Oh, Jesus. Oh. This is if the Sonic movie was like Deadpool in terms of ratings.
Oh yeah. There are actually a few moments where it reminded me of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's because of the same. Okay, so the reason why I acknowledge Deadpool so much is that Tim Miller was the director of Deadpool 1 and 2. He is an executive producer on this movie alongside his company Real Effects that worked on they worked on this movie as well.
He didn't do number 2. He only did number 1 and got replaced by the John Wick guy for the sequel. But yeah, you can definitely feel.
Yeah.
I'll tell you later. But yeah, you kind of feel his influence on some of this.
I think we've kind of carried this on a bit too long.
Yeah.
Did we not do that?
Yeah, really. At the front door.
And yeah, that's how we'll end the stream, with Sonic visiting Stalin's house one more time.
Yes.
Bye, see you later.
Hey, see you later, and remember to go fast, and give me your chili dogs.
Gotta go fast. Let me get my chili dogs ready.
I'll stick with my donuts, thank you very much.
Donuts are delicious. Try some chili dogs.
Let's go to the Donut Lord, jackass. Okay, we're done. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Gotta go fast.